Yes, you absolutely beautiful souls. Well done. You've made the best decision of your morning. You've tuned into S3. Yes, it's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's the midweek edition, and we are right here to serve you once again. And what does that mean? That means that you are in for a treat. Yes, we have so much to look forward to this morning. And one thing's for sure, it's the culinary hotline. Bling! Ching, ching, ching! I love that part of the morning. Now we are going on a baking journey with head director of Tessa's Bakery. Yes, I'm talking about Alicia Lowe in the building. Look at that. Oh, it's time to just blow your mind away. Talk about styling. Oh, on another level. But it doesn't stop there because we're staying in the kitchen and we're going to be introduced to green kitchen and dining trends. Oh, so Nature Boy is excited for this one. Plus, how to organize your kitchen utensils, your spices, and even your lids. I know there's a lot of those random Tupperware cupboards that have so many extra lids. How do you organize it? We've got you covered, but it doesn't stop there. Yeah, there's a little pantry inspo picture for all of you this morning, and I know a lot of you need some organization skills. So we've got you covered, and we've got entertainment boxes ticked, because this morning is the ever so talented and funny actress Sorina Flues. Yes, the one and only. Now, she is going to be singing songs like Choma, Jay is a champion, or a kampion. I'm not sure if that's the correct word, but the next one also is Husit May Chomi. So you definitely know that this is going to be an absolute jam. It's going to be a beautiful morning, and someone that's just going to turn that beauty notch just a little bit more is the one and only G-Man. What's happening, brother?
Good morning, Sunshine. I'm just thinking what happened to all the buckies. I've got all the lids, but what's happened to like the bottom parts of all my Tupperware, man? So good to be connecting with you. Yes, my name is Graham Richards. I'm representing the fam this morning, and I love it. And I love the look on this man's face because he's answering the question with that look. So this is what I want to find out from you guys. Seeing as we are taking kind of a home DIY turn this morning, when something breaks in your house, what do you do? Do you A, call a handyman, B, call your parents, fair game, C, just DIY with Google or TikTok? I've watched this man build his house from the ground up himself, so I'm pretty sure what he's going to do in this kind of scenario. Where do you sit in this little ecosystem? Share your fab or your fail DIY experiences. We want to see it. We want to see videos. We want to see pictures. 063-408-8863. That's how you can stay connected with us. Drop us a voice note as well. We'd love to connect with you this morning. But let's give you a couple of those talking points first up, and then a very heavy sporting bulletin, some major news coming out this morning. Let's get you prepped.
Thank you so much, Jimen. Yes, this has gone 3 minutes past 6. And another warning for our Good Morning Post. If you are choosing option C, then it does come with some risks, as you can see. But of course, it's time for national duties and official duties once again. So starting off with national headlines. Now, leaders of the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa converged in Johannesburg yesterday for a summit where they will consider expanding the bloc. Now, heightened global tensions provoked by the Ukraine war and the growing rivalry between China and the US have added urgency to a drive to strengthen the bloc. Now, an expanded BRICS will represent a diverse group of nations with different political systems that share a common desire to have a more balanced global order. Now, SA's President Cyril Ramaphosa said this in an address ahead of the meeting. While sticking to national headlines, meanwhile, President Ramaphosa has said protectionism undermines growth prospects worldwide. Now, speaking at the opening of the BRICS summit in Sandton, Johannesburg, he said the African Free Trade Area was a market that could grow significantly over the next few years. Now, he said small businesses would play a key role in economic growth on the continent, and the new development bank was pioneering work in mobilizing resources for infrastructure development in emerging economies. Well, from our national news headlines, let's head over to international news. Now, Zimbabwe's elections, which take place today, are likely to be disputed like all others before. Now, this is the opinion of an associate professor in the Department of Public Management at the Tshwane University of Technology, Professor Ricky Mukonza. Now, he says not much has been done to address challenges of free and fair elections in Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe's ruling ZANU-PF has been in power for the past 43 years. Now, Mukonza says in Zimbabwe, every election has been disputed since 2002, and history is likely to repeat itself. Well, sticking to international headlines right now, Tropical Storm Harold has made landfall on the southeast coast of Texas, bringing more heavy rain and high winds to the southern U.S. Now, the National Weather Service is also tracking 2 additional tropical storms moving west towards the U.S. Now in Greece, 18 bodies have been found in a forested area plagued by wildfires for the past 4 days. Now, fires are raging across several fronts in Greece, whipped up by high winds and temperatures which climbed to over 40 degrees Celsius in several places yesterday. Well, lastly in our headlines, enough to truly swoon about. One of the rarest sights in the animal kingdom has appeared in a zoo in Tennessee in the US, where the birth of what's thought to be the world's only singularly colored giraffe has been announced. Yes, believe it or not, the giraffe, a female, is a uniform brown color, lacking the distinctive patched pattern that giraffes are known for. Now, it's already 1.8 meters tall and is being cared for by mom and zoo staff. And giraffes are very rarely born without their mottled appearance, which primarily serves as a form of camouflage in the wild. Now, the zoo has also announced the contest for the public to name the newborn. Well, I don't know what ideas you have, but I'm sure you'll be coming through with some of those names. For now, though, it's time to carry on the rest of the headlines. And here's all the latest when it comes to sport with the G-Man.
Sounds like a tall order. Sounds like a very tall order. Let's start with a story that does land beautifully in sport. In a game-changing move, Cricket South Africa, or CSA, has announced the debut of the Professional Domestic Women's League. I feel like applauding, intensifying the impact of Proteas women's cricket. Now, this vibrant league includes CSA Women's One Day Cup and CSA Women's T20 Challenge, showcasing teams like the Lions, Western Province, Titans, Dolphins, Garden Route Badgers, and the newcomers, Free State. Welcome to the fold. Noteworthy is CSA's introduction of a combined prize fund. Now, that is hopefully going to foster a sense of unity and certainly exhilaration among cricketing enthusiasts, myself included. Brilliant move. Now, we can also get excited about another impending Rugby World Cup. We have to wait a little bit longer for this one, but exciting news from the world of rugby, as the host venues for the 2025 Women's Rugby World Cup in England are now unveiled, and this upcoming showcase event, expanded to 16 teams from the previous 12, will mark the first occasion for several sites to host matches at a Women's Rugby World Cup. So throughout August and September of 2025, rugby strongholds like Sandy Park, Ashton Gate, Franklin's Gardens and Salford Community Stadium, all with incredible history, will be joined by football arenas, including Brighton's HQ, the Stadium of Light, beautiful, the grand finale, then of course set for Twickenham, the iconic London home of English rugby, with the expectations of course soaring now for an 80,000 strong capacity crowd. I think we'll see it. Now let's turn to football, and Bafana's head coach Hugo Broos has revealed a powerhouse 36-player preliminary squad with a trimming to 23-player on the horizon. So setting the stage, of course, for clashes on the 9th of next month and then the 12th of September against Namibia and the Democratic Republic of Congo. These matches stand as crucial stepping stones towards our Africa Cup of Nations campaign and the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Of course, with our team placed in a very challenging group alongside some pretty formidable names: Nigeria starting there and ending there, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Lesotho and Benin. All very strong teams. Now we turn to athletics, and he got through on the skin of his teeth. A nail-biting moment unfolded last night for our world record holder Wade van Niekerk as he narrowly advanced to the 400-meter final at the World Athletics Championships in Budapest. So he clinched third in his semi, securing a spot through non-automatic qualifiers. And despite a strong season, his Rio Olympics finishing kick was certainly missing last night, leaving Jamaica's Antonio Watson, who ran 44.13, and American Vernon Norwood 44.26, to snatch that automatic qualifying positions with personal best performances. So they had to do a lot to beat him. I think Wade is maybe saving a little in the gas tank, but that's where we leave our sport for this hour. We're going to delve into the CSA announcement of this very awesome cricket league here in South Africa in just a moment, so stick around. But right now, let's get into the weather.
Thank you so much, Eman. Yes, let's dive into weather. And first up, weather news. And spring is in the air for most provinces of SA, with fine and warm to hot weather forecast. Now, the only exceptions are the Western Cape and eastern parts of the Eastern Cape. And the first of two cold fronts this week made landfall in the southwestern parts of the Western Cape, bringing with it widespread showers, cold conditions, and strong winds gusting up to 80 kilometers per hour. Now, Kanyisa Makubalo, a forecaster at the Cape Town Weather Bureau, says the current cold front will spread along the south coast tomorrow before another cold front hits the Cape on Friday. Now, Makubalo said, as a result, a yellow level 2 warning for damaging waves was issued for the entire western and northern Cape coastline, as well as a yellow level 4 warning for strong winds between Table Bay and Plettenberg Bay. Now, similar conditions as to what are being experienced will at the moment prevail for the next few days. Well, from our weather news, let's dive into those temperatures and see exactly what you can expect for your day wherever you are in the country. Now, starting off in Polokwane, the day starting at a low of 13 up to a nice warm 33 degrees. Mobela sees the day starting at a minimum of 13, even hotter at a max of 37. Pretoria brings the heat from 13 all the way up to 30 degrees for your max, and Johannesburg. The sunny skies continue from 10. You move up to a high of 27 degrees. Over in Mahikeng, it looks like from 9, you move up to a nice warm 27 degrees with sunny skies. Klerksdorp much the same from 6 up to 25. Kimberley, very similar conditions from a chilly 6 up to a moderate 20 degrees. And Bloemfontein, much the same from an icy 3 degrees. You move up to 20 for your maximum temperatures. Around the coast now and over to Richards Bay, however, it looks like the sun carrying 16 up to 27 degrees. Pietermaritzburg, the rain comes through from 11. You move up to a high of 26. Durban, it looks like wet conditions continue from 16 up to 25. And Mthatha, 9 is your low, up to a high of 26 degrees Celsius. Carrying on around to London now, 9 is your low, up to a maximum temperature of only 19 degrees. Cradock has a very chilly 1 degree to start the day for your minimum temps, but up to a maximum of 21. Out in GQ Gqeberha, the rain continues from 10 up to a high of 16 degrees, and George, 6 is your low, up to only a maximum of 15 degrees. So very chilly out on that side of the town. And a very similar condition for the mother city, Cape Town. From 7, you move up to only a maximum of 14 degrees today with lots of rainfall expected. Worcester, 3 degrees to start the day up to 13. Sutherland, a very chilly start of -2 and only moving up to 10 degrees with lots of rainfall, so you can expect wet and cold conditions there. And Uppington, last but not least, 5 degrees, a chilly start, but up to a moderate 21 degrees Celsius. Well, we've seen the temperatures firsthand, but let's see what it looks like in a picture. Of course, this is the favorite part of the morning, our sunrise views for this edition. And we're starting off with the Queen Ramule from Lichtenburg, showing off blissful tones in the sky. I love the foreground here, just painting that realistic picture of where you're at. I love it. We've got Rajen up next in Chatsworth, and snap this moment of a rose bush whilst the sun starts to rise. Oh, we're getting artsy this morning, Mzansi, and I absolutely love it. Felix is up next in GQ Gqeberha and is sharing calming moments overlooking the dam. I like this one. This is really just showing the clean presence and promise of the day. Hansi's up next in Vredendorp, stepping outside to embrace a beautiful morning, a powerful sunrise captured here. I absolutely love it. Mzansi, you definitely know what's going on. Setting the bar of inspiration for this morning's pictures, and keep it coming on 063 408 8863. And we're going to do it all again in the next hour.
Thank you so much, Ryle. We're going to have a little bit of fun, but there you can see coming straight from the screen that we don't use CGI to doctor his face at all. It actually really does look like that. We're going to have a little fun today. We are all about those DIY tips. Yes, we're going to be enjoying that, certainly. But we have got the team from Tessa's Bakery in the house today with some fantastic baking tips, some cake styling tips as well. They are going to blow your mind. Then, of course, you might have missed a couple of stories while you were sleeping. We'll take you through some of those news headlines that grabbed our attention that needed a bit of a deeper dive. We'll see you for that in just a moment.
Bespoke. It's my feel.
Yes, sometimes you're welcome back to Breakfast Show, and we are serving you so much this morning, already diving into all the headlines, and this is something we want to discuss right now, especially while you were sleeping. A lot has been going down, and G-Man, we've got the latest when it comes to a lot of the headlines making waves right now, yeah?
I think there is going to be no bigger story in South Africa this morning, certainly because there has been no bigger figure in the South African broadcasting landscape than this man, iconic TV anchor and veteran investigative journalist Derek Watts has sadly passed away yesterday after a battle with sepsis and skin cancer. And the cancer had spread to his lungs. Watts was 74 years old, and our condolences are undoubtedly with you, Belinda, and his children, Tyrone and Kirsten, right now. We hope that the media are going to give them a bit of breathing room in this time. I doubt that there is a person in the industry who hasn't had an impact from this man. I mean, there's been such an outpouring. Literally every person that has ever worked with him has been able to go back to a moment of inspiration. It certainly sparked massive moves in my career. I can remember being nominated for an award with him, one of the first awards, and obviously I didn't win. He did clean up those awards. I think he won every award that he was ever nominated for. But I just remember the class of this man as this kid was just playing around him and all excited and swept up in the moment, and he just gave me the room to enjoy being there and just be in that space.
Present,
he was absolutely lovely. But if you think about the amount of times we've interviewed him, how much he gives you in that space for being such a formidable interviewer, someone who has broken some of the biggest stories in South Africa. Honestly, he's probably responsible for more positive shifts in this country than anyone else in our industry.
I think he is. He's been such a catalyst and has been a catalyst and still is for so much change in the country. I'm just chatting to some of the people that he's impacted, and it's everybody that I know. He's had such a special place in people's hearts, especially if you think about the weekend. He was like a forefather for so many people. You looked forward to seeing what he would bring next. I think this is a big loss for our country, but also a big reminder of what impact one can have when they continually serve, consistently serve, and go above and beyond to just seek the truth. I mean, someone that has, for me, inspired so much more and unlocked so much more. And just for you as well, hearing that story, I think there's many more to share.
Completely. And, you know, Bongani is an old friend of mine who's worked with him for many, many years, and he expressed as one of the kindest, most generous professionals to ever do it. The room disappeared when he spoke to you, and that is so true.
No one's going to argue
with that.
Even
as a colleague, he made me feel like I was Mother Teresa, and I think the best interviewers, and something that I always strive to in my career, is that feeling that you give the person that you're interviewing them, that gateway that they get to move through with you. But the impact within the industry is going to be massive. So to the likes of Alan Ford, to all of those that have been left behind in this incredible ecosystem that he helped build around him, we are so, so sorry, and we are sending you all our love.
Definitely, all our love going through there. Now, someone that impacted, yes, Derek Watts for sure, but now, speaking of impact, there's impact that needs to take place in schools right now, because there was a very impactful event that happened. Now, school can be complicated and even very traumatic, especially for children. Now, many learners thrive and excel in it, but others are mercilessly harassed and victimized by classmates. Now, sadly, according to recent findings, more than 58% of South African schoolgoers have experienced some form of bullying, and some stories end in tragedy. Now, as seen by the rise of teen suicide, not only in SA, but across the world. And yesterday, I was reporting on the news, a tragic incident. It hasn't been confirmed, but the suspicion of bullying being taken place where the kid, I think 15 years old, potentially drinking some sort of a poison, he ended up dying. This is insane. This is crazy, and it's almost demanding change within the school environment, and it's looking like they're even trying to implement some new rulings to protect kids. I don't know what you know about this, really.
But yeah, I think, you know, the fact that we've got to get to that point, and you raised the concern, if you start getting into legal interdicts and getting into a space of legalities, where does that line... It's just terrifying that that's the point of safety now, that's where the line has been drawn at schools. But something has to shift. Unfortunately, if I think back to, and we probably all went through some kind of manner of hazing, and it was part of it was, there were elements of it that was such a positive culture builder within that, but it's such a fine line. And unfortunately, the pressure points now when it comes to bullying and how that can be carried on within a social media space, so it's not just happening in a moment in school. A child is put into that space and they live there until they can break that cycle. And I think that's the terrifying story, Then we've got to touch on this story, and I mean, it does beg a lot of questions, because this has felt like very much a year of evolution, revolution, if you will, within the sporting space. So we don't want to see stories like this at all. But the head of Spain's Soccer Federation, Luis Rubiales, he, of course, marred the country's Women's World Cup victory, their 1-0 win over the Lionesses of Spain, with a moment that just went completely awry. And this was after kissing a player on the lips during the medal ceremony. This, of course, drew criticism for inappropriate conduct in a sport that has struggled to overcome sexism. You can certainly understand this. It's a moment. They are swept up in emotion. There is so much going on. I can certainly understand the bond that he'll have with these players and that connection.
Yeah.
But you're in front of billions of people on TV. And I think the fact that this happened in front of the 16-year-old Princess Infanta Sofia, that obviously...
That sparks
it doesn't, from her, it goes straight to the top, unfortunately. So as much as I think it was an innocent moment, it can't happen, man. You've got to keep your head about you if you're going to be in the centre.
I agree with you, man. I think you can't deny the emotion that happens in a massive game like that. But at the same time, when you have this experience and you get to a position like that, you need to understand how to conduct yourself in front of the camera. There's do's and don'ts and there's rules. And I think this is just adding to not necessarily the pressure, but the need to understand the environment we're in when it comes to sport right now.
Yeah.
It is so vital, it's so pivotal to really understand the elements at play and respect the entire culture for what it actually is. So.
No, completely. But he did take it on the chin and he said all he can do is apologize and learn from this moment, which is all any of us can do in those moments. But I'm about to learn about an amazing moment courtesy of CSA. So I'm going to tootle along and find out more.
Tootle along. Of course, while you are here, Mzansi, I want to chat to you about some of the topics that we've just discussed. What are your opinions? What are your thoughts? Especially the one when it involves school bullying. Now, there's something that we didn't mention, and that's the fact that the government's currently looking into establishing new laws that will allow school children to be granted a protection order against another. Now, is this something that you think could assist, or are we giving too much power to someone that shouldn't have control of it? Maybe you can weigh in this conversation right now. So much more to discuss. And of course, a great discussion happening right now with the G-Man and of course, some ladies in sport. Bring it on.
It is the woman for her, thank you. It is the year for her, thankfully. It is the sporting year for her, and it's only getting better. Breaking onto the scene with a massive bang, Cricket South Africa hits it out of the park with the launch of the Professional Domestic Women's League yesterday in Tshwane. So the Lions, the Titans, Dolphins, Badgers, Free State, and of course Western Province will be a part of the first professional season. This is big. Here to chat to us about this momentous occasion and what it means moving forward are Western Province cricket players Faye Tunnicliffe and Yandiswa Mangele. Faye, Yandiswa, thank you so much for joining us. You've had a moment or two to come to terms with this. I kind of feel like I'm still trying to wrap my head around how big this actually is. Am I right? Does this feel like a click? Yandiswa, is this the thing we have been waiting for within women's cricket? Is it finally? How are you feeling and wrapping your head around this?
I am definitely stoked about the whole idea. I mean, it's something big. It's something we've been looking forward to. It's definitely a step in the right direction in terms of growing the sports, like for ladies, and a way to develop someone's game.
There are 11 teams, contracted players, Faye. Does that make you feel secure? Does that terrify you, that now there are only 11 safe spots in all of my cricketing ecosystem? How do you feel about this? Because now, you know, we've been calling for it, it's here. Do you think it's going to make the impact that you need within your own little cricketing ecosystem?
Yeah, absolutely. I think professionalizing the game is the best way forward in order to raise the standard of women's domestic cricket and therefore the international cricket as well. Because now there's certain spots that we're fighting for, and it's kind of like the Hunger Games a little bit. But yeah, it's the best way forward. It's the best way to raise the bar and raise the standard. Because
you know what it's worth on the back end. How difficult is it, Yandiswa, for a player to build a career in a space that doesn't support that career? Just break it down for us. What kind of a shift will this be in a practical sense for you? What does it change?
I mean, it's difficult to build a career like out of sports, like on its own, especially, say, we come from different backgrounds. Obviously, your parents obviously want you to study for a better education, and then you want to venture into sports. So it's a big decision on its own. And then having this professionalization of the sports for us is going to be a very big thing, because now people can make a livelihood out of the sport. And then you know what's on the table, because this brings food for you. So you're obviously going to want to fight and work better to be the better cricketer and ultimately get paid a lot of money while doing it.
And
while
there's
having
big
fun.
money out there. There's big TV money now in cricket. And I want to say that South Africa's been a part of this journey of like kind of knocking on the door and saying, listen, you know, you've got certain leagues, and I think it must be very frustrating when you come up against an Australia where you see the same talent pool, maybe less of a talent pool, and I say that with all due respect, the resources, though, that they have to be able to pump into that, and what a difference that makes. It's got to be frustrating. But now we have an opportunity for young girls to see not a plan B after I've finished my varsity degree, but a plan A that could earn me big money. That being said, you've got to deliver. What does this change in terms of the cricket that we're going to see here? Are we going to see a spike? Is there going to be more fire? What are you expecting from the competition now that the stakes are so much higher?
Yeah, I mean, now it's not for fun anymore. Now I mean, it's still fun. Gotta love the game.
You're gonna love it, yeah.
Now you need to deliver in order to kind of reap those benefits. Yeah, now you're competing for a top spot, and you know, the better you do, the more you'll get paid. It's kind of just, it's like a normal job now.
Oh, man. It's going to be a high-paying job. I have a feeling after this first season, people are going to absolutely love it. We're going to embrace it, yeah. Now, you keep those fingers crossed for the rest of the season because you've got matches to play. We are here for that. This does feel like a massive step forward. Now it's up to the players to take it that next step, and we know that the talent is here to do it. Now the joy is we get to see the talent on the biggest stage possible here in South Africa. Absolutely awesome. So congratulations and good luck. Break a leg this season. Absolutely amazing advent.
Oh, yes, that's enough to celebrate right there. But, Mzansi, we've got more to celebrate and more to look forward to on your Feel Good Breakfast show right now. We're talking about pain and fever for first-time moms. If you're having some issues with that, then don't worry. We go out here to serve you. And then on top of that, we're going to go check out some of the talent at Rudine SA School. Yes, it is a plethora of talent, a plethora of magic, and we're going to be diving straight into all the action right there and getting you to not go anywhere. We'll see you in just a bit.
Crouch, touch, but don't you dare pause, because when you buy any of our favorite Clover products, keep the till slip handy and catch the Expresso breakfast show every weekday morning for more details on how to enter. While the box is battling for rugby's greatest prize, you can win your share of 80,000 rands worth of Weber Prize. So engage and win with rugby's greatest moments, brought to you with love by Clover.
It's my feel good show. New Panado Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever anywhere.
Welcome back. Thanks so much for rejoining the conversation. We're now going to be talking to parents, and I want you to just take a bit of pressure off your own shoulders. It's important for moms to be patient with yourselves, especially first-time moms. We know this is a crazy gateway to move through. After all, you're learning new things literally every day, probably every minute of those first few days. And one thing that has empowered moms worldwide is good advice. And joining us to discuss pain and fever for first-time moms is someone who's given us amazing advice, pediatrician Professor Claudia Gray. Prof, welcome back.
Thank you, and good morning.
It is good to have you here. We're often connecting via video, so nice to have you here in person. I love this phase of a parent's journey, especially a mom, because there is so much pressure, yet you've got so much intuitive knowledge, this like tome of knowledge that's just in there, which I want to say to new moms, take the pressure off yourself, because I think there is this expectation that you're going to just smash it, and it's not always like that. When it comes to fever and ailments within our babies, that's when it does get scary though. As soon as that temperature starts spiking, you're thinking, okay, literally looking at the thermometer, is it time to go to hospital? What do we need to keep in mind when that's happening? What generally causes that spike in temperature?
So basically, a fever is a sign that your body's fighting something. It could be inflammation, it could be infection. And really, while you're fighting this, you release a whole bunch of chemicals that reset your body thermostat, so to say, and that manifests as a fever. So it's usually a sign that there's inflammation or infection. Causes of that, well, any old infection can cause a fever. It doesn't have to be serious. A common cold can cause a fever. Teething can cause a low-grade fever, not a high fever. That's a bit of an old wives' tale. Respiratory illnesses, flus, throat infections, ear infections, and then you can get more serious, such as pneumonias or meningitis or bone pain.
Where it can be
If you're
very
unlucky,
serious,
it can be something very serious, like leukemia.
What's normal, and when do we start to worry and seek advice?
Sure, so everybody's got their slightly different range, and that can vary on a diurnal basis throughout the day. It's usually sort of between 36 and 37.2, but when it's over 38, 38.5, then you're thinking, okay, this is really outside of my normal body range.
The body's struggling
and
there.
The problem is, if it goes fairly high, you can feel very uncomfortable, and kids become irritable. They don't want to feed. If it's extremely high, such as over 40, you can get something called a febrile seizure, where the brain actually almost short circuits, so to say, because of the rapid rise in temperature, and kids can present with a fit.
Okay, and I think that's why often, I mean, that number 40 is in my head still, and my kids aren't that young anymore, but you're still like, oh, I'll be getting close, I'll be pushing. Thank you, I love that, because it's quite practical as well, which is nice to know the zone that you're working within. Are limited in what we can use to help ease the pain of our little ones, and we know, any one of us who've experienced a high fever and that pain, you know how awful you feel in that moment. Paracetamol can be used with kids. What is the best way to approach that? What should the mindset be when trying to alleviate the aches and pains?
Well, I think the first mindset is treat a fever. There is often the myth that you shouldn't treat a fever because it's actually, you know, getting rid of the infection. Yes, to a degree, it's part of the chemical response, but it's almost an over-response.
The body is still going through something. It's not just a natural, lovely thing.
The body's still got loads of chemicals which are killing your bugs. You don't need that high fever. It's uncomfortable, it can cause complications. So manage a fever if it's high. The child's uncomfortable, they're not going to feed. It's going to be a disaster if you leave them uncomfortable. And then you've got certain medications that you can use, and also from an early age. It's a bit of a myth to say you can't use medications in young children. You absolutely can, in the right dose and in the right fashion.
With the right advice, for sure.
Yeah, so we have a few agents that can treat fevers. Paracetamol is sort of a very trusted and tried and tested and safe, given the right doses, medication. The nice thing about it is it doesn't upset the tummy. So a lot of our anti-inflammatories cause gastric irritation. Paracetamol doesn't, and that's quite handy, because often when kids are sick, believe me, they aren't interested in eating and drinking. So it's a handy way of getting the fever down so that they feel better and then can eat or drink.
That obviously aids the body healing itself,
Absolutely, and if you rest, you can heal. If you're less irritable and you're feeding, you can heal. The other nice thing with paracetamol is you can alternate it with other types of medication. So you can use it as a base and alternate it with an anti-inflammatory. But I think the bottom line is it's tried and tested through decades.
Chances are your mom's told you she used it, and that's often, in most cases, 100% of the time, in fact, for me, an absolute endorsement. But I love that. You want to help treat that fever so that your little one can eat, can rest, can heal themselves, because I think the most miraculous healing happens within the body. But those little bodies, they need a bit of help, and I think the moms need a little bit of help, or probably a lot of help as well. So if you're a mom with a sick child right now, we love you, we get you, we understand what you're going through. And if it is starting to progress beyond what you can handle, ask for help.
Being a parent can be challenging, but stepping out is when things get real complicated. That's why new Panado Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets are here to make the job easier. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever, anytime, anywhere. Panado, a dose of care.
So grateful for that conversation. But of course, it is still Women's Month, and we're going to continue to celebrate the strong females of South Africa. Now, Harmony joined the bright young women of Rodin SA School with the Must Be a Milo morning campaign that's empowering South Africa's young women through sport. Now, I'm excited about this. I know you are, so let's go take a look.
August is Women's Month, and what better way to celebrate and to honor this month than by empowering some young South African women in sports. We're joining the bright young learners of Rodin School with the hashtag Must Be a Milo morning campaign that celebrates and unites communities and allows us to celebrate our children's active lifestyles and encourage more children to participate in sports. Say, I'm awesome. I'm awesome. Say, I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. August is Women's Month. Why is it important for us to celebrate women in sports?
I think it's important for us to celebrate women in sports because we come from a school where we want to empower women. We want to empower pupils from grade North all the way to matric. And by empowering them, it gives them that confidence to do better, to unlock their true potential. And I think that's the most important thing for us.
I like soccer because we can do teamwork. My lessons that I've learned from hockey is to work together and to have fun.
Well, I knew we're back at the hashtag Must Be a Milo morning campaign. What exercises are we doing today?
So the exercise we're going to be focusing on today is just cardio. We're just going to focus on cardio just to keep their heart rates up and just cardiovascular system up and running.
I think it's so important to celebrate women in sport because there's a variety of benefits, including the fact that the younger girls can see someone that you're celebrating and be encouraged to become like them. It opens doors for more female athletes, you know, there's more exposure. It's just a good benefit for the whole nation, the whole community as a whole.
The lessons I've learned from playing sport is teamwork, determination, and striving to do the best that you can.
I do diving and netball and hockey and soccer. I like those sports because you get to play around, like let the blood flow in your body and get exercise.
We follow a philosophy in the junior school that's called long-term athlete development, and it's to push passion. It's to make sure that they gain all the abilities and skills of various different sporting codes so that they can take that outside of school and they can live a long life filled with physical activity.
I love Milo because it tastes really good. I love Milo. It's a good drink to have.
We eat the cola from the can! That's how good it is!
I think an initiative like the hashtag Must Be a Milo morning campaign is important in South Africa because it pushes people to actually note that, hey, kids must be playing outside. Kids should be living a more active lifestyle. It encourages parents to actually motivate their kids to play more sports, and also it motivates the kids themselves, the children themselves, to participate in sports.
Oh, I love sports. My favorite sport is probably tied between water polo and hockey.
I also like team sports a lot because you're not the only one who's playing the sport.
If you ask me and my friends here at Rodin School SA, we would say that we should celebrate and honor female athletes and women in sports every single day, right? Yeah! Right, so we're challenging our parents out there and our communities to encourage and to motivate your children to play more sports and also share and upload those special moments where they cross that finish line, where they kick that ball and where they hit using the racket. Tag at Milo South Africa on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Using which hashtag?
Hashtag must be a Milo morning.
Yeah!
Yeah, for all that energy. I absolutely love that harmony. Well played, and thank you for serving. That was definitely a Milo morning, and I think I'm going to grab myself a morning or two like that this week. Let's just add that to the schedule. Right now, we're going to add some more magic to the schedule. Don't go anywhere. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show continues, and it's the culinary hotline bling. So, you know what's up. We'll see you there.
Oh, now I understand Alicia Lowe from Tessa's Bakery is here, and I'm not even ready for the kitchen. I think I need a little apron. Yes, it is the culinary hotline bling, and I need a very big culinary hotline bling. Ding, ding, ding. And now make an apron magically appear. Thank you. Oh, I do have help. Thank you so much. We're going to kickstart the culinary hotline in just a mo. I'm ready. Across women's and men's sports, the fields never looked so wide open as it does this spring. And with 150,000 Rand to be won in the World Sports Betting Spring Stakes on Expresso, catch your favorite breakfast show on Spring Day, the 1st of September, 6 to 9 a.m. on S3. It's a celebration of sport with your chance to be one of 8 lucky viewers spinning the wheel for your share of 150,000 Rand. Plus, sports betting account holders, your spin and win winnings will be matched with free World Sports Betting vouchers, only on Expresso.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back, you beauties, and welcome to the culinary hotline bling. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, we know how much you love cakes on this show. We know it, okay? It's probably the thing you love the most about this show. So we brought along the perfect guest all the way from the famous Tessa's Bakery. Please, let's give a massive and very warm welcome to their head decorator, Alicia Lowe.
Thank you.
Alicia, I know every time you walk into the kitchen, everyone applauds. So we just wanted to kind of follow suit. Thank you for being here. Thank you for representing your amazing team. I mean, that's quite a thing. At Tessa's, which is already renowned for these signature bakes and these signature cakes, to be the head decorator there, this has got to be one of the most coveted jobs in baking. How did you find your way into this space?
Well, it kind of found me.
Really?
Yeah, like Des, she kind of found me. So she asked me to come in for an interview and...
Because you're
then
just that good?
Yeah.
And now you've got to deliver. We were talking off air about how bad I am at baking because it feels so precise. Yet when I see people like you do it, it feels like magic, like you're just shooting from the hip, that you're using creative license, but you've got to earn the right. There's got to be a base.
Yeah.
So before we can start decorating, and you're going to blow our minds with some decorating today, we need to start with the base. So what are we making and how can I help?
So today we'll be making a chocolate cake, and then we'll follow with a vanilla buttercream.
Oh, and this is like stock standard. You get this right, you are winning.
Yes.
You're winning in the kitchen. If you've got any questions for Alicia, 063-408-8863. We'll open those lines. You can drop us a WhatsApp voice note. We'd love to hear from you. And trust me, there is a tome of knowledge here. So if you've got a cake that's flopped, if you've got any questions relating to the bake, let us know. But let's get cracking. People demand cake. Let's feed them. All right, so where do we get started?
So we'll get started with our chocolate cake. So basically what you want to do is you're going to add all your dries together.
Okay.
So we have some flour in this bowl, some cocoa powder you'll add, and then you'll add your sugar.
Nice.
And after that you'll add your salt.
What would we call this cake? I know some from an inside of you, because I know many cakes are very different.
Yeah.
So how would you describe this particular cake and what are we wanting out of it?
Well, this cake, I will call it a chocolate mud cake. So
Chocolate mud cake,
Yeah, it's
okay.
very moist and it's a bit dense, but very moist and very like fluffy at the same time. You know, it's everything you want in a cake.
In a cake,
so,
because
yeah.
you do need that. And often, I mean, I somehow have been landed into judging roles in a lot of our baking competitions here, but I've learned that the simplicity is often the key. If you get the base right, if you can get the cake texture right, half the battle is won. It doesn't matter how nice it tastes, if that mouthfeel isn't right, if you haven't got that balance. So I love the fact that we are working from the ground up.
Yeah.
Okay, dry ingredients very liberally mixed together.
You just mix them together. You can maybe just mix them so there's no lumps. You see there's the cocoa powder lumps, so you can just mix them together. In this bowl, I'll be mixing all our wet ingredients together.
Why is it important not to have those lumps? I'm probably sure there's like a simple answer to that, but why don't you want any of the little lumps and
Because
things?
if you're going to add your dry ingredients, then the lumps will it will stay basically, and then you'll see like cocoa pieces in your cake, you know, once it's baked.
Yeah, for sure, and you want that consistency.
Yeah.
And especially from a cake from Tessa's where people are going to judge. There's going to be an expectation.
Definitely, yeah.
Do you find there is a lot of pressure in a kitchen like that? As I know you guys are doing what you love, but there is an expectation of quality that's on a different level when it comes
There
to Tessa's,
definitely
yeah?
is an expectation of the quality to be good, like all the time, and it must be consistent. You know, if you get that one cake that's not coming out great and you have a complaint about it, you just feel so bad about it, you know? So then we're going to mix all
Yeah, and I suppose it's the kind of business
bits.
you get one bake right with the right client, they'll be with you for life. You get it wrong, that one person can tell a million different people. It's such an unforgiving environment.
Exactly.
It's like being a hairdresser, as silly as that sounds, but it's when you're dealing with individuals who have high expectations. I certainly get that. I think we've got a voice note that's come through. We'll get our team to load that in a second. And if you do want to ask any questions of Alicia, 063-408-8863. We're focusing on baking today. So if you've got any of those conundrums, maybe you've had a bit of a fail, and we'll get into that. We're going to be creating this cake throughout the show, so we don't want to... Okay, so now what's gone into the wet ingredients? Coffee.
Yes, your coffee. That just gives it that extra chocolatey taste, the coffee.
I love it. Suddenly it became a grown-up cake. I absolutely love it. I've picked up things already and we're just getting started. So we are working on the base of our chocolate cake and we're going for that mud cake consistency, beautiful, dense and fluffy at the same time. We love it, and we can work on our buttercream icing as we go. We've got Alicia from Tessa's Bakery here. She is their head decorator, which comes with a lot of esteem and incredible amounts of talent that she's going to show for us today. And now we are adding the wet to the dry. We'll get into some of your questions in just a moment. Beautiful.
just mix that through. You can actually just take...
Talk about anticipation. I cannot wait to see how this cake unfolds. And we're going to do exactly that. So don't go anywhere, Mzansi. We're going to be finishing this thing off talking about decorations. So, ooh, it's starting to get elevated. And then on top of that, there's a couple of interesting stories that we want to share with you after this. Yes, entertainment world, entertainment news. There's a lot to skin about. So let's get into it straight after this. We'll see you there.
Bake more memories and win big with a Taste SA and Royal Baking Powder. Watch the show every Tuesday evening at 7 and enter our competition by creating your unique own bake based on the weekly theme using Royal Baking Powder. Post on the competition post on social media using hashtag #TheTastemasterSA and stand a chance of winning a KitchenAid stand mixer and more every week. Unleash your creativity with the Tastemaster SA and Royal Baking Powder.
We'll see you in the Tastemaster kitchen.
It's my feel good.
Oh, yes, Mzansi, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Let's bring on the scanner. Oh, yes, we're talking about all the latest when it comes to entertainment news. This is your trending entertainment stories. And we're talking about everything from divorce parties to murder charges and even a new life. It has been busy, G.
Yeah, really busy, man. I love it because these are the kind of stories you either really care about or don't care about at all. Either way, it's fun. It's just really interesting because we love a lot of these stars. And I think Britney has a special place in our heart, certainly as a 90s kid. And she's been through a lot, and she is also creating quite a storm. So she's thrown a rather wild and out divorce party, okay? And clearly she is trying to get over Sam. Sam who, in fact? So Britney is working very, very fast to put Sam Asghari, her husband, behind her, surrounding herself with a ton of shirtless men, all vying for her attention, clearly, and all looking really happy about being there. She went on to say, I put my green dress on and show up at my friends. I invited my favorite boys over and played all night. Look, as only Britney can, yeah?
I'm here for this, man. I mean, I'm just looking at, like, what she's gone through, how much she's been controlled, and you look at some of the posts online, and you just see, like, oh, she needs emancipation, she needs freedom, and this for me is one of those moments. I feel like Britney's freer than she ever has been, and you look at all the stuff that she's had to deal with in that home and some of the rumors of Sam trying to get the staff to take pictures of her when she's not aware, and you can hear him behind the camera all the time when she's recording these videos. You're just like, I don't know, I'm happy for this. I'm here for this, right?
It begs the question, because she seems to go from one polar, and I'm speaking with a zero professional kind of understanding of her mental state or where she's at, but she seems to swing from these polarities of being hyper-controlled to being extremely free and expressing herself in that space. And I hope that there's a happy medium somewhere in between, because anything that she does, the press is going to grab it, especially if she's putting it on her own Instagram account.
Yeah, for sure.
But we love it, man. We are here for that. This one is a massive one.
Yeah,
a massive story within the entertainment industry, and you know that by seeing this man's face. Tupac's killer faces imminent murder charges after bragging about killing the rapper.
Can you believe
My
this,
goodness. And now this comes, sometime after this. So he was murdered in 1996.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about that. And of course, with the gang member Keith D reportedly facing imminent murder charges after previously admitting to being involved in the killing, but it seems like that he has taken that a step further. So Tupac was fatally shot in 1996 at the age of just 25, cutting short what would have been the biggest career in hip-hop, I think, in history. And now Las Vegas homicide detectives have gone out on a limb saying they are optimistic that they've got a strong enough case against Keith D, who was at the time a member of the Southside Compton Crips, who are very, obviously a very notable gang at the time in that area. And the gang, obviously because of where Tupac was coming from, that area was run by gangs. So if there was money moving, I can guarantee you there was gang activity involved in that ecosystem, as I love to say. But it's been one of those best kept secrets or unkept secrets for the longest time.
The amount of theories and stories that have come from this.
But buddy, the wheel turns. The wheel turns. Incredible stuff. Yeah.
Surfaces, I'm here for it. And I'm hoping that we do find out more about that. But look, let's carry on, because the headlines have been crazy right now. And here's one to actually celebrate, because Rihanna and A$AP Rocky are now officially parents twice over. Yes. Now we learned that she secretly gave birth to another baby boy earlier this month. And sources with direct knowledge tell us that the baby arrived August the 3rd in Los Angeles. But we don't know the kid's name yet. We do know that it's going to potentially start with an R. That's someone we do know.
That's their vibe. No, they're just creating more hype about that. I mean, this is, trust me, Rihanna's, it's not lost on her. She understands that this is like the best PR exercise in the world.
This is true.
And she'll look after, as she has done with her private life. She is pretty good at looking after her family.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll be unsafe, but she is going to milk this for everything that it's worth. And this is obviously with her first child.
And I think the first child's name was like Rizar. I don't know how you say that exactly. So I think playing with that theme, keeping the theme going, but for me, I'm also just here for the fact that there's love in this relationship, and it looks like Rihanna and A$AP are going strong. So this is a testament of some beautiful things to come.
I would go and look at the names of the Wu-Tang Clan and see maybe there's another name beginning with an R that's going to feature there. Absolutely love that, buddy. You got some official details to go into the actual news.
All right, see you later.
I'm going to just follow up with one particular story that certainly got us going, and we were desperate to have her in studio because we love her. Viola Davis, she has certainly shared a lot of love for South Africa, and the American actress, she chose to step away from the glitz and glam of Hollywood to celebrate her 58th birthday here in the mother city in Cape Town, South Africa, and it looks like they really did roll out the red carpet. She took to her Instagram to share with her 11.5 million odd global following the love and affection she received from the people of South Africa, and warranted, man. She also, on her platform, quote, "You have heart and soul, South Africa. I love you. And we love you, B. We would love to have you on the show. That offer will stand in entirety." So if you got to connect with Viola, you were able to show her some mad love, because she had a lot of mad love for South African actors, and she is putting them in her film. That's why we love you the most. Shout out to Viola and all those who have kept us chatting around the cooler box or the water cooler this morning. That was our entertainment news, and of course we've got those major news headlines to sink our teeth into now, and then I'll touch on the sport.
Thank you so much, T. I love those headlines, but it's time to dive into official headlines right now, and it's just gone on the hour at 7 o'clock, so perfect timing indeed. Now, starting with national news headlines, tributes are pouring in for veteran investigative journalist and broadcaster Derek Watts, who has passed away at the age of 74. Now, he worked for the investigative program Carte Blanche since its inception 35 years ago, and Watts' fellow presenter, Bongani Bingwa, said, "One of the kindest, most generous professionals to ever do it. The room disappeared when he spoke to you, and even as a colleague, he made me feel like I was Mother Teresa." Now, the Kivnas also said that a true SA legend, probably the best investigative journalist we've ever had, and Watts leaves his wife Belinda and 2 children behind. And of course, our condolences go out to all those that are affected by this great loss. But carrying on with headlines right now and sticking to national news, leaders of the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, converged in Johannesburg yesterday for a summit where they will consider expanding the bloc. Now, heightened global tensions provoked by the Ukraine war and the growing rivalry between China and the US have added urgency to a drive to strengthen the bloc. Now, an expanded BRICS will represent a diverse group of nations with different political systems that share a common desire to have a more balanced global order. Now, SA's President Cyril Ramaphosa said this in an address ahead of the meeting. Now, from our national headlines, let's head over to international news. Now, there have been huge sighs of relief after all 8 people, including 6 children, who were on their way to school, were saved from a cable car dangling above a 183-meter high ravine in Pakistan. Now, this with the country's caretaker Prime Minister praising great teamwork by those involved. Now, some of the group were rescued by an army helicopter, and after nightfall, others were safely brought back down to the ground by zipline. Now, the delicate 14-hour-long mission was described by Pakistani's army as an operation of unprecedented difficulty. While definitely applauding all those rescue efforts there. Incredible stuff indeed. But we carry on with the headlines right now and moving over to Zimbabwe. Now, Zimbabwe's elections, which take place today, are likely to be disputed like all others before. Now, this is the opinion of an associate professor in the Department of Public Management at the Tshwane University of Technology, Professor Ricky Mukonza. Now, he says not much has been done to address challenges of free and fair elections in Zimbabwe. And Zimbabwe's ruling ZANU-PF has been in power for the past 43 years. Now, Mkonza says in Zimbabwe, every election has been disputed since 2002, and history is likely to repeat itself. Well, lastly, in our headlines right now, members of a motorcycle club in George on the Garden Route recently decided it was time to change people's perceptions of bikers. So, the Road Eagles Motorcycle Association went ahead and horribly spoiled some 30 women from a Knysna township as part of Women's Month. Now, most of these women had basically never been properly pampered, and organizer of the big spoil, Reverend Siyabalela said with a quote, "We are not hooligans, we are men and women, fathers and professionals that ride these bikes. And we made someone's granny, mother, sister and or wife very happy." Now, Alina Makisi summed up the bikers' gallant efforts with a quote saying, "It was tremendous. We felt loved, valued and important. Besonwabile." Oh yes, I'm absolutely here for this and for the rest of the headlines as we dive into the sport. The G-Man has it all.
Thank you so much. Well, let's start with, I think, what could become one of the biggest stories in SA cricket. In a game-changing move, Cricket South Africa, the CSA, has announced the debut of the Professional Domestic Women's League, intensifying the impact of Proteas women's cricket. What a year it's been. Now, this vibrant league includes CSA Women's Day One-Day Cup, and then, of course, the CSA Women's T20 Challenge. Both brilliant feeding systems to the national setup, showcasing teams like the Lions, Western Province Titans, Dolphins, the Garden Route Badgers, love the sound of that, and the newcomers, the Free State. Noteworthy is CSA's introduction of a combined prize fund. This is obviously going to foster a sense of unity amongst the players, undoubtedly, but I think most importantly, an exhilaration amongst cricketing enthusiasts. This is a serious level up. We are here for that. Now they need to make it work. Now we turn to rugby and more to get excited around the World Cup. This time, a little bit further ahead, the 2025 Women's Rugby World Cup in England, as some of the iconic venues have now been unveiled. So this upcoming showcase event is going to be bigger than we've seen. It's been expanded to 16 teams from the previous 12, and that'll mark the first occasion for several sites to host matches at a Women's Rugby World Cup. So throughout August and September 2025, rugby strongholds like Sandy Park, Ashton Gate, Franklin's Gardens and Salford Community Stadium, all with such rich history. They'll be joined by some pretty impressive footballing arenas, including Brighton's headquarters, the Stadium of Light. Look at that. And then, of course, the grand finale has to be set at Twickenham, the iconic home of London and English rugby, with the expectations soaring for an 80,000 strong capacity crowd. Undoubtedly, they're going to do it with the kind of year that we are seeing this year and the build after that. Absolutely brilliant. Now let's turn to football, and Bafana's head coach Hugo Broos has revealed a powerhouse 36-player preliminary squad with a trimming to 23-player on the horizon, setting the stage for clashes on September the 9th and then the 12th against Namibia, and then a tough one, the Democratic Republic of Congo. These matches stand as crucial stepping stone towards, of course, our Africa Cup of Nations campaign and the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. And our team is in a tough group, very challenging Group C, alongside, well, we can start and end with Nigeria. We've got Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Lesotho and Benin all in the fold. So we're going to need this squad to click. Now, let's turn to athletics. Wade, what are you doing to us, my friend? A nail-biting moment unfolded last night for world record holder Wade van Niekerk. I'm sure he was most nervous of all as he narrowly advanced to the 400-meter final at the World Athletics Championships in Budapest. So he clinched the third in the semi-final, securing a spot through non-automatic qualifiers. And despite a very strong season after a very lengthy break, his Rio Olympics finishing kick just wasn't there, leaving Jamaica's Antonio Watson, who ran 44.13, very fast this year, and American Vernon Norwood 44.26 to snatch that automatic qualification with personal best performances. So look, they still had to work to beat the man, but I think he is going to kick when he needs it now moving forward. Please don't put us through that again. Let's now get into the traffic. Of course, a brand new day. I'm sure the roads are waking up. Ryle will get you to work safely.
Thank you so much, G. Yes, a lot of you heading out on the roads this morning, and we are here to serve you. Now, starting off with traffic, and if you're in the Kraaifontein area in Cape Town to be specific, there's been an accident on the N1 inbound at Brighton Road. So the left lane is closed, so you can expect delays if you are in the area. Now, this one might be not only for the locals, but for tourists too, if you are looking to go to Chapman's Peak, and that's Chapman's Peak Drive, specifically in Cape Town. It is currently open as weather conditions are calming down, so you can use this route accordingly, and maybe even for your scenic adventures. Carrying on now and moving over to Pietermaritzburg in KZN, there's been an accident on the N3 eastbound, and this before Sanctuary Road, and the left lane is blocked. So approach this with caution, and if anybody is heading out on the roads this morning, buckle up, stay safe, and plan accordingly. From the roads to the sky, let's find out what's happening in the weather. Diving firstly into weather news right now, and spring is in the air for most provinces of SA with fine and warm to hot weather forecast. Now, the only exceptions are the Western Cape and eastern parts of the Eastern Cape. Now, the first of two cold fronts this week made landfall in the southwestern parts of the Western Cape, bringing with it widespread showers, cold conditions and strong winds gusting up to 80 kilometers per hour. Now, Kanyisa Makubalo, a forecaster at the Cape Town Weather Bureau, says the current cold front will spread along the south coast tomorrow before another cold front hits the Cape on Friday. Now, Makubalo said as a result, a yellow level 2 warning for damaging waves was issued for the entire western and northern Cape coastline, and a yellow level 4 warning for strong winds between Table Bay and Plettenberg Bay. Now, similar conditions as to what are being experienced at the moment will prevail for the next few days. Well, we've seen the news right now, but let's dive into those temperatures once again and see what you can expect in your area in the country. Now, starting off in Polokwane, the day starting at a low of 13 up to a nice warm 33 degrees. Mobela bringing the heat even more from 13 up to 37 degrees for your max. Pretoria, a beautiful warm day from 13 up to 30. And Johannesburg, another exceptional sunny day from 10. You move up to a max of 27 degrees. Looks like the sunny skies continue in King, you move from 9 to a max of 27. Klerksdorp, similar conditions from a chilly 6 to a moderate 25. Kimberley, similar conditions from 6 up to 20 for your max. And Bloemfontein, the sun continues from a chilly 3 degrees up to a moderate 20 degrees Celsius for your maximum. Around the coast, now to Richards Bay, it looks like a little bit of sun in Richards Bay from 16 up to 27 degrees. Pietermaritzburg, however, brings the rain from 11 up to 26. Durban, the wet conditions continue from 16 up to 25. And Mthatha, 9 is your low, up to a high of 26 degrees Celsius. Moving on around the coast now to East London, where it looks like your low is 9 up to a maximum of 19 degrees. Craddock starts with a chilly 1 degrees up to a maximum of only 21. GQ Becha sees the day starting with some wet conditions from 10 up to a max of 16. And George, 6 is your low, up to a high of 15 degrees Celsius. Carrying on to the mother city, conditions continue from 7 degrees. You move up to a very chilly maximum of only 14. Worcester, very similar conditions from 13 up to only a maximum of 30, or from 3 up to a maximum of 13 degrees. Sutherland starts the day at a chilly -2 degrees and only moves up to a maximum of 10. And Uppington, last but not least, 5 up to a max of 21 degrees. Well, we've seen the temperatures now, but let's see how these pictures are looking on your side of the world. And once again, let's start these sunrise views with Tanya from KZN. And she captured a stunning pinky sunrise. And this one is got some beautiful views over her home. I love this shot. Rob's up next in Pringle Bay. Oh, enjoy that beautiful spot. He's got a blessed moment shared with some fluffy clouds in the distance. And look how the color's just about to pop through. Nancy in Pennington up next. And this one was taken walking on the beach, taking a lovely stroll, dipping her toes in the water. Wow, the power, the magnificence. I love this. Niklaas up next in Hartenbos, sharing another magical view overlooking all the homes in his town. And oh, what a shot. Look at the contrast. Look at the bright colors. Mzansi, we're winning. Please keep it coming. We'll do it all again in the next hour on 063 408 8863. Let's see what else we can expect for the rest of the show.
And the pirate love, we'll see you out there. Now, for once, it actually looks just as good inside as it does outside your beautiful houses. Thanks for those pics. Take a look at that. We make the cake today. We've got Alicia from Tessa's Bakery, an incredible heritage there. I think 25 years of creating amazing bakes. They are giving us the tips on how to decorate the most beautiful baked creations. If you've got any questions, 063 408 8863. Alicia would love to answer them. Then Sonna Blues is going to be performing just for you. We're going to have a little bit of fun with that. She is hilarious. Stick around.
Crouch, touch, but don't you dare pause. Because when you buy any of our favorite Clover products, keep the till slip handy and catch the Expresso Breakfast Show every weekday morning for more details on how to enter. While battling for rugby's prize, you can win your share of 80,000 rands worth of Weber Prize. So engage and rugby's greatest moments brought to you with love by Clover.
It's my feel good.
Welcome back to the Culinary Hotline. Bling! Zing, zing, zing! You can get it out, eh? At least you just gotta let the beast out of the cage. You will. By the end of the show, she's going to be screaming. We're not going to stop her screaming for the rest of today. Well, we are screaming with joy to have Alicia here, representing the incredible Tessa's Bakery in our kitchen. And she is teaching us some cake decorating skills, but we had to start at the base and work our way up. And I've already picked up some absolute gems. I can understand why you're here. It's giving me confidence, which is what you need when you bake, especially when you move into this next phase. So I'm going to repeat. If you've got any questions, 063-408-8863, please drop us a voice note. We've only got Alicia here for this morning, so get those questions in. So our cakes have come out beautifully. We went for chocolate mud cake, so it's got that beautiful dense texture, light and fluffy at the same time, perfect balance. Now we've got to make it look like it's come from the heavens down to earth, okay?
Definitely.
What phase are we in?
So we're going to stack our cake now. So what I have here is the buttercream, and I added some pink colouring to it. And then I mix it.
Don't look at me like that when you say pink colouring, like you know something special is coming. Just try and guess what kind of a cake we're making. The pink is a big.
And then you're going to take your first layer. You're going to put it on. And then with the same buttercream, I made some salty caramel filling. So I added some caramel to my buttercream. That's what I love about vanilla. You can add any and you can make any flavour. So that's why I gave it.
And I noticed when you flip that, you put the slightly rounded top edge underneath.
Yeah.
So you've got two very clear, flat surfaces engaging with each other.
Yeah.
It's like masonry as much as it's like baking. So it sounds like we've got a voice note coming through right now. Let's take a listen.
Hi, it's Timbiso here. How do I prevent my cake is always dry, so how do I prevent that?
Timbisa's saying, my cake is always dry. How do I prevent that? He sounds gutted. I'm sorry, I've been there. I know what it's like. How do we ensure that our cake is moist? I mean, this looks absolutely exquisitely moist. I know we went for a slightly... How do you ensure a cake has that content, that moist content?
Well, I think he has to do some troubleshooting. So he's either baking his cake too long in the oven at a high temperature, or even he needs to maybe add some more oil to his recipe. Even some buttermilk would help to make his cake more moist.
Okay, yeah, I will actually start with that. I like the notion of fortifying the cake with a bit of buttermilk. Troubleshoot, experiment just a little bit. I know you might end up with like 9 different cakes. Maybe try some cupcakes first. But I think the key here is when you're learning to bake, you've got to learn. You can't just start at 89. You've got to go through the process. You've got to bake the flops to be able to understand, okay, I pushed it too far, maybe didn't use enough. You are quite aggressive with your just let it out. I'm surprised we haven't had a ting, ting, ting from you yet, because you are all about that aggression when you bake.
So basically, you put a lot of icing on top, work it all the way down and all around the cake.
This really is masonry. You've obviously got a gift. Were you born with really stable hands? Have you learned how to do this? Can I learn how to do this?
I think you definitely can. If you want to learn, you'll find a way to learn.
Can I give it a shot?
Definitely.
I mean, this is presumably not going straight onto Tessa's floor. Can I just scoop it like this?
Yeah, scoop.
And then just turn like so.
Yeah, go down.
Ooh, I feel like I should be going this way. Play with what you got. Don't laugh at me when I'm just getting going.
You're doing it perfectly.
Well, not so much. I'll just... And, I mean, you can be quite heavy-handed, huh?
Yeah, because you will take your scraper afterwards and you will just smooth it over, yes. And most of that icing will come off the cake. So you don't have to worry about putting too much icing on the cake.
Okay, I like that. Every baker's just gone, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that. Sure, and these are quite strong flavors. I'm going to hand back to you to Speedily. I can see.
Okay.
I can feel your A-type personality kicking in. Like, oh, please, let me just take over and do this. And I suppose it's worth not rushing because you're putting so much effort into that. Okay, that's cool. Actually, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Thank you very much for saying that. Normally in the kitchen, I don't get the positive reinforcement. It's little movements. I like that, and you really are getting it out there. How do you know, because you've got to trust your gut with these sorts of things. When you're combining very sweet flavors, there's a lot going on here. How do you approach that? Is there a mindset going into it? Do you have you learned to just gauge? Is there a rule book that you follow? Like, don't have 3 different kinds of tasting icings? How do you approach a cake that has so many different kind of touch points and flavors. How do you ensure that you're not overdoing it?
Well, obviously, when you're making something, you don't want to make it too sweet, so you obviously balance out those flavors. So with salted caramel, the buttercream that I made isn't too sweet because I know I was going to add caramel in it. You know, things like that. Even the icing, you know, you need to balance it out.
Yeah.
So
Okay, look, and I know I would love to learn to do something like this, but watching you employ a skill that is clearly so practiced. Can you draw a perfect circle? You know, they say people who can draw a perfect circle are crazy in the head, eh?
I actually can't draw it to save my life.
Oh, get out of here.
I can't.
That's so funny, because my next question was going to be, are you a scientist or you're an artist? What do you feel the skill set is that you employ when you are creating with this such level of precision?
I don't know, I feel like to me everything is abstract. So just putting things together, being creative, things like that.
You're a mad genius. That's what you are. You're a mad genius. I absolutely love it. I can feel the compound knowledge here, that it's not just you. It's not just your gut feel and intuition. And obviously you've got a natural kind of flair and talent for this. But to be able to plug into the knowledge base of like a Tessa's, of this brains trust that has been carrying this culinary information through generations, what is that like? How much have you learnt working in that bakery?
Wow, I've learned so much because when I started off at Tessa's, I basically have just been doing cakes from home. So everything I learned at Tessa's basically.
And I hope the home bakers, we've got the most talented home bakers on the planet watching our show. I know this is the competitions that we have, like it's all professional stuff. That's how quickly, that's the step that you can take from being a home baker to working in one of the best baking establishments literally in the country, one of the most well-established. You just got to have the guts to put yourself out there and hopefully a mentor to guide you through the process. Okay, so we're going to add even more pink. Again, another clue as to what theme this cake is going to be. What are we going to move on to next?
So we're going to make some geo hearts, some decorations, some geo hearts, some slabs and some spheres. So what you're going to do is just your chocolate melted. Okay. So any candy melts, any chocolate, and then you're going to add some powder. So why you want to add powder is because the powder mixes nicely into it. Oh. Whereas gel will make those speckles in and the bone.
And we're going for this particular kind of pink. You will understand why we are going for this particular kind of pink in just a moment. We're going to add geometry, some dimensions to our exquisitely crafted cake. The bake continues on the culinary hotline. Bling! Ding, ding, ding! Almost there. She's almost there.
Yeah, the bakes continue right here behind me. But on top of that, we're also going to get to the level where we need to set up the stage, we need to set up the kitchen or get involved in some decor. So we've got a great inspiration when it comes to decor, and it's all about that green feel and flavor. So on top of that, we also tick in the box when it comes to entertainment. Yes, Serena Floos is about to serve us. We cannot wait for it. Yes, it's another chummy edition that's going to be coming through. So Mzansi, you know what to do. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a bit.
South Africans know tough. It's built into our DNA. We know to outweather and outlast the harshest conditions. When they show the extra mile. Our strength is legendary. Our resilience, iconic. And despite the odds, we know the job done. Mycotex, strong enough to endure anything.
It's my feel-good.
Oh, yes, Zanzi, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. What a show it's been already. It's the midweek edition, but we've been serving you right up through to get you inspired into the weekend already. But now, as we gear up for spring, as you've heard, we are getting to refresh our homes and introduce the latest interior trends. Now, one of the hottest trends for spring and summer 2023 is the color green. Now, it's a color that is synonymous with growth, vitality, and nature. All the things I absolutely love. And someone that's here to tell us more about this trend and to share the different ways to introduce it into our homes. We've got an architectural designer. Her name is Zane Dumini, and I cannot thank you enough for joining us this morning and inspiring us, because just by these colors alone, I'm already getting excited. And what I've seen from the pandemic, what I've seen from the inspiration that's come out of that is that we lean towards nature so much these days, and I'm so excited for that. But firstly, let me say good morning. How are you doing?
Fine, and you?
I'm good. I'm excited because it's all about nature. So maybe you can tell me, where is this real hype about this color green and this nature inspiration coming from? Why is it such a trend at the moment?
Okay, I think just like you said, green is really the color of freshness. It's about energy. It's got a feeling of health to it. But as well, I think green is that special color that also brings calm and tranquility.
It does, yeah.
So it's a great color to just bring in a new season, both that calm that we are all looking for, as well as that energized feeling that we are all looking for. So what a brilliant color to usher it all in.
What a beautiful balance, actually. That's something that I think I would love to incorporate into different spaces in my home. And let's talk about exactly that. So let's say we're using this color in the kitchen. How do we incorporate it in the kitchen? I know I do it well with plants because they're normally green, but how do we do it when it comes to actual decor like this?
So that's such a great idea. Like, plants are fantastic, especially in the kitchen. And just like plants, you want to bring in small elements without painting your whole kitchen green and green.
Yeah, and then it's like, whoa, that's a bit too much, okay.
So for instance, at the moment at Woolworths, there's some beautiful ranges that you can just add that pop of color.
Yeah.
Canisters that you can hide your everyday in, such as tea bags, sugar, things like that. They've got this beautiful beechwood lid that brings in the element of nature again.
Yes.
And then what I really love is their stoneware. They've got these beautiful one-dish casserole dishes.
Oh, yeah.
It's so great to go literally from braai to table. So you're not using a whole lot of dishes.
And I love the size of it as well. It's a practical size. It's not just for like a couple. You could entertain with something of that
Exactly, from oven right to where you serve.
Yeah, I love that.
And then they've got the Serious Cook range, which is all wonderful silicone utensils. Again, you know, these things lie around our kitchen. So that pop of green and the trend coming in without overly committing, but staying on trend, bringing that freshness for spring. And so that's how you can really bring it into your kitchen. And I have to tell you that it's all dishwasher safe.
Oh, I was going to ask. Yes, okay, brilliant.
Which is really important.
It is important. I mean,
it's about ease.
I love that. So now, one thing that I've noticed is that, especially when it comes to like design and decor, a lot of people aren't hiding their kitchen away. So they're often using certain elements to showcase and transform a space. So literally for me at home, I have like a nude theme. This is so simple for me to just kind of pop something on the shelf, 100%. Pop something over here, and I've redesigned the whole space with this little pop of color, which I'm absolutely here for. So kitchen box is pretty much ticked here. I think we've got that sorted. Let's say we are officially heading into spring. I want to invite the family, some friends over. I want to entertain and I want to do a classy version of that. How do I incorporate this sort of theme into a, let's say, a picnic sort of spread, al fresco style?
Okay, so I'm really excited about this because I love a table setting.
Okay.
And the most exciting thing about this range at the moment is, of course, the green that we've spoken about, the beautiful green. It's kind of a deep green, which I also love. It's got a neutral aspect to it.
Yeah.
And then it's all locally made. The Nordic range at the moment from Woolworths are these beautiful kind of organic shapes, locally made. And so that's just really fantastic. Again, dishwasher safe, but you know, you've got to go with the ease. This is all from Woolworths, 100% linen tablecloths, and then you're just adding that pop of color. You don't need to do much more, if you know what I mean. So
I'm looking at it, and I always see how these tables get styled up and all this work goes into it. This has made a statement, but yet there's not actually that much going on here, to be honest with you. The subtlety is what's really standing out for me, and I think the magic really comes in this color, because I've been trying to like figure out what kind of is this. There's a mix of like emerald with moss and earth, and there's so much natural involved in it that this is a new color that I'm here for. I'm going to try and get like clothing in this range even. That's so cool.
It's a beautiful neutral green.
I love it.
And when you balance it against the neutrals of the placemats, the linen, 100% linen tablecloths, and you kind of style it with leaves on the table, you know, this really makes, it makes everything feel authentic, I think. And that's what we're all yearning for, just that authenticity.
Real,
So I
raw,
really love
authentic.
that.
This is like an ode to spring, and I can't think of a better way to do it. Well played, Zan. This is fantastic stuff. And for you, Mzansi, I'm pretty sure you've gotten hyped after this. If you've gotten any inspirational ideas just from this color alone, then you definitely want to refresh your home with this green kitchen and dining essentials that are available, and it's going to add a breath of new life into your space. So shop the Green Edit at Woolworths Home, in-store, online, and on the app. What are you waiting for? Look how good this looks. Come on. Well played, Zan. Thank you.
It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and joining us on the Expresso stage this morning is Serena Vloes. She is an actress, a presenter, a singer, just an all-round lekker person, best known for a role as Witbank Vloes on a popular television soapie. And I can tell you, she just has a lekker character. She's got an alternative persona that's also thrown into the mix. She's an entertainer, and she performs songs as Vloes and making guest appearances in television and radio as well. Just an ultimate amazing individual. And that's why, Serena, it's so nice to have you.
My choma, geef vir my sommer 'n ruk. Hoe is dit?
My choma, yeah!
Ek watch vir jou.
Baie dankie hoor. Thank you.
Ek watch vir jou.
So not only are you a singer, but rumor has it that you're a lawyer as well. Is this true?
Jong, ja, objection, your honor. Dis al wat ek van die law kan onthou. I did study law. Ek het my regsgraad.
Yeah.
But I felt die regsgraad was nie reg vir my nie. And I wanted the aura to be a bietjie weird. So
Yes.
ek gaan drama swat. And ja, so nou het ek 'n graad teen die muur en 'n drama qualification. En hier staan ek saam met my chomma en sê vir jou, hoe's dit my chomma?
Hallo, hoe's dit my chomma?
Don't call me, I will call you, Anna, please call me.
That's what... I will WhatsApp you. Anyway, right, you've got a hot new single, right? It's a fantastic one, Choma, as a champion. I want to know a bit more about why you created the song. And I mean, where do you see this song playing out? I mean, is it a song that you'll hear in a stadium while the book are playing?
Definitely. Ek het die song juist so wyd en universeel geskryf that everyone out there needs to know you are good enough who you are. And that's the core and the essence of the song, inspired by my own two children, Braam, Bos en Miana.
Aww.
Because if you can teach our youth that you don't have to... Jy hoef nie die mooiste, die beste, die slimste, die coolste, die rykste te wees nie. So what? Just be yourself. Because
Authentic.
that's the best you can be. And then you are a champion. It's not always the team that gets the trophy. Dis nie altyd die kind wat voor staan en die liga wen of die balkie of die medalje of die applause kry nie. Elkeen wat net hulle beste probeer. Vir hulle is die liedjie geskryf to tell them, Choma, you're a champion because at least you tried your best. Wow. Choma, you're a champion.
You're an inspiration. Okay, Serena, my word. And I want to hear you sing. Is that okay?
Is reg, maar gaan ons eers 'n bietjie opwarm. Nee, dis hoe's dit my chomma? Jy gaan so ja, hoe's dit my chomma? Hoe lyk dit my ou? Gooi hom kareltjie. Ken jy die vloeze Reina? How low can you go?
Okay, got it. Right, did you got all the yes, okay, so it's just who's it?
Who's it? My chomma. Hoe lyk dit my ou? Ken jy die vloeze Reina? How low can you go? Wow.
Yes!
Wow.
Yes, I got it.
Give him the mic, man.
I know, thank you. I'm going to perform later. I'll jump in, but I think for now I want to just you to take it away. Grab your microphone, get yourself ready, my choma.
Hey,
who's it? My choma. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Serena Vloes. Gooi!
Ons gooi hom, papi. Ons gooi vir hom.
Gooi vir hom.
Gooi jy die moves daar backstage. Watch out. Check hoe flex hy daai pecs van hom. Hey! Wax hy kyte my ding. Hoe sit my choma? Hierdie is die belly boy jy my kry. En 'n nice jacket op 'n bike wat ek ry. You step it as die boy
en girl het laas. Hey, ek watch vir jou as jy met ander goeie chat. Al is jou bynaam hot lips, ha, sie of gerd. Ek like arm drukkie, karaoke koning hing. Ken elke move, elke groove, elke ding. Maar wat ook al jy doen, wanneer dat jou hoor nie, jy wil nie 'n fight met 'n chick soos ek verloor nie sou. Hoe sit my chomma? Hoe lyk dit my ou? Ek ken die Macarena. Hey girl, ek watch vir jou papi. Hey, die blues, goosey's on the loose. Chommy at home, I'm watching you, nee. Die rapper baby, as ek jou impress. Ek like 'n diesel ou in 'n wit en greasy vest. Ag, skoene met hakke laat my voete swel en ryk. Ek service self die karre, braai my eie steak. Ek like pretty spears, Dolly Parton is my hel. Ek snork as ek lag, maak ek so ekstra geld. Jy skiem, ek is crazy, jy dink ek is so zep. Jy kan lag en vinger wys as ek getunede vol as rep. Maar wat ook al jy doen, moet nie dat ek jou hoor nie, jy wil nie 'n fight. As hy Mr. Cameraman, kyk hoe gooi hy hom. Hey, 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 hey. Ek ken die Macarena, how low can you go? Hoe sit my chomma, hoe lyk dit nou? Die blues, goosey's on the loose, jy weet ek watch vir jou, papi. Maar diep in my hart, ek bly 'n mens. En my chomma, my message vir jou is, wees net jouself. Jy is my VIP. Hotter as botter, my champion. Right. Hier gaan ons. Kyk hoe gooi Kaal om daar backstage. Kom maar papi, hoe sit my chomma? Hoe lyk dit my ou? Ek ken die Macarena. How low can you go? Oh, hoe sit my chomma? Hoe lyk dit my ou? Ladies and gentlemen, look at this chommy. How low can you go? Oh, hoe sit my chomma? Hoe lyk dit my ou? Ow, 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 ow. Hoe sit my chomma? Hoe lyk dit my ou? Ken jy die Blueserina? How low can you go? Oh, hoe sit my chomma? Hoe lyk dit my ou? How low can you go? How low? Ow, 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 ow. Help me please, help me. Wat dan sê? Ow, ow. Die tannie word oud. How low can you go? Oh, hoe sit my chomma? Hoe lyk dit my ou? Die blues goose sê, my chomma, ek like vir jou, hoor. Ja! Gooi hom so, gooi hom so, gooi hom so. En dan jump.
Come on! Woo! Woo! Serena Flus. My words, can I tell you? Flus to the flute. It's going to happen for you all the way through the show, so make sure you stick around. More performances to come. My choma!
Hey! Serena Blues. We are here for that. Absolutely love it. One more performance coming your way. And one last opportunity to ask Alicia your questions. She's here from Tessa's Bakery. She's their head decorator. And you're going to see why in just a moment. We're going to decorate our beautiful pink cake. There is a theme, and you are here for that. 063-408-8863 if you've got any culinary conundrums. Now is your time to ask, and we'll see you in a sec. Across women's and men's sports, the fields never looked so wide open as it does this spring. And with 150,000 Rand to be won in the World Sports Betting Spring Stakes on Expresso, catch your favorite breakfast show on Spring Day, the 1st of September, 6 to 9 a.m. on S3. It's a celebration of sport with your chance to be one of 8 lucky viewers spinning the wheel for your share of 150,000 Rand. Plus, sports betting account holders, your spin and win winnings will be matched with free World Sports Betting vouchers, only on Expresso.
It's my feel-good.
Welcome back, you beauties. Alicia Lowe, head decorator from Tessa's Bakery, has been giving us a masterclass, some top baker tips on how to create beautiful cakes. And she is here for one last installment of the Culinary Hotline. But, okay, none of us are allowed to give a ting, ting, ting. Only Alicia is, okay? It's time to earn your stripes. I'm pushing you out of your comfort zone. Welcome. None of you say a word. No one. Welcome to the Culinary Hotline. Bling!
Ding, ding, ding!
Yeah! I love it. Love it. That was 25 years of pent-up frustration just coming out. Oh, no, she's the sweetest human being. I don't think she's got frustration or pent-up aggression in her, as is displayed by a beautiful cake. It is exquisite. Even just the icing here is a showstopper. Now we're going to decorate and add some geometry, some depth, and, of course, the theme of our cake becomes very, very clear. Yes, it is a Barbie cake. Oh, my word. This is massive. Okay, so no pressure. This has got to stand up to the brand.
Yeah.
How do we put the finishing touches on our gorgeous creation?
Okay, so
and you can hear, sorry, we are being blessed by the heavens right now. So this is quite an auspicious occasion. You can hear the rain falling just to mark. Oh, love it.
So I made some chocolate slabs, and I made some geodes, and I made some spheres also. So the spheres, you just melt the ends and you put them together.
Yeah. Oh, look like gorgeous little pearls. Okay. The giant pearls.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful.
So what we're going to do, we're going to start with our cake now. So I'll just turn it around. So now and then.
And this is great. So, like, what I like about this, if you're going to use graphics, don't let the graphic do all the work. You've got to still be creative in terms of how you add. I keep using the word geometry for lack of a better understanding, but it needs to come to life. This is where the theatre kind of kicks in. So great pictures are wonderful, but you want to let your skill set come to bear here. And this is where the artistry comes out.
Definitely.
Oh, the macaroons. And again, all of this feeds into the same kind of flavor notion. It's nothing too powerful, too strong. I think the buttercream, the white chocolate, the salted caramel, they kind of have an intensity that I think is going to be beautifully counterbalanced by the chocolate, that deeper, darker chocolate.
So I'm just taking a star nozzle, a closed star nozzle, and I'm just doing some piping on it.
Just some little boop-boos. Do you go into something like this with a plan? Like, will you go as far as drawing out a decorative idea or plan for the cake? Again, you're going to just tell me, no, I just pick it up and I go. Like, how do you approach this part of the process? Because, again, it needs to be balanced.
Yeah, I would do, like, maybe rough drawing, you know, just... I'm not a drawer, like I said before.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'll just do a rough drawing, and also I will also look at different people doing cakes, maybe of the same theme, and just maybe take something.
See what works and what... That being said, where do you get your inspo from? Is it Insta? Do you go onto TikTok? Do you go onto Pinterest? Where do you find your kind of creative
Anything. Google, Pinterest, Instagram, you know, it's just a whole bunch of social media platforms that we look at also.
I love it. So we're going to gradually turn this around so people can get just a little sneak peek. With the sticking of objects on and things like that, I notice you're not doing anything other than just kind of placing them on. Will the icing have enough kind of tactile, whatever that word is?
Definitely. So if your icing is a bit soft, everything can stick. But if not, if your cake is like really hard cold, you can just take some icing.
And just a little bit of like a little cement.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Sorry, now I've jinxed us, of course. That's coming out.
Yeah. Usually what you would also want to do is if you are sticking a sphere on or something, you'd want to put a toothpick through it.
Okay, so give it that little bit of extra support there. Exquisite. Almost like, I want to reveal it, but I don't want to reveal it because it's beautiful. Okay, well, let's squeeze in a voice note while you lay the finishing touches here. Let's hear from this viewer.
Good morning, Expresso show. Val here. Please, Alicia, your cakes look absolutely beautiful. I wish I could decorate like that. I please just need you to tell me what size baking tins you use to bake your cakes. Thank you.
Val, thank you so much. Great question. Do you have a go-to? Is it kind of done to spec? Do you have a particular size that works well for you?
Well, I usually like, this is a 6-inch, so I usually either make 6-inch or 8-inch cakes.
Okay.
And that is also nice for 2 tiers. Your 8-inch, your bottom tier, and then your top tier, your 6-inch.
6-inch. Okay, so you've got a bit of differentiation.
Yeah.
And then you also, because I mean, it's a lot of surface area. I understand for a party if you need a big themed cake, I get that. But generally, you want the impact here to be not the size, but rather the detail. And now, a little magical unicorn with a fairy on its back has ridden through our studio, and now we add our fairy dust. Oh, exquisite. How many Barbie cakes have you made this year?
During the past 2 weeks, I could easily say I made about 8.
8.
Yeah, since the Barbie movie came out.
I was going to say, I have a feeling this is probably going to be the
Maybe
most...
even more, because I'm not precise on the count, but I
for
made a
sure,
couple,
I
yeah.
love it. So you've got to be able to stick to themes. Is there a particular cake that you've enjoyed making the most, like a character or theme-driven cake? What have you loved embracing the most?
Well, I think cake-wise, I think it would be the vintage cakes. You know, the cakes with all the piping, you know. That's a lot of, you learn a lot, you know.
That's advanced skill.
Yeah, and even a cartoon comic cake. Those cakes also.
I love that. You've got to learn so much about people through this process, because that's ultimately what this speaks to, is the people. Spectacular. Can we get a round of applause for our Barbie cake? And Alicia, you fly so under the radar for someone who has such an incredible natural gift for this. I know that you're honing that skill, but obviously you've got that spark. This is absolutely exquisite. We've got 3 cupcakes, just to like further just how amazing you are. And I love that maybe this is a way, if you're going to be kind of hosting a party, don't go for just one massive cake. Have a showstopper element, but then little individual pieces around that. You can build a showstopper exactly like that. Amazing. I have a feeling that we are seeing kind of the emergence. You've only really gotten started. I have a feeling we're going to see the best definitely still to come. For someone specifically a woman wanting to take this step and commercialize their baking talent, what advice have you been given that's really worked? The mentoring that you've received at Tessa's, what's kind of been that click for you? What advice would you love to give another young female baker wanting to make their mark?
Well, I would just say always be teachable. Like, even if you get criticism and all of that, just take it and...
Eat it up.
Eat it up, use it to become better. That's all I would say. That's what I did, you know. I came in there, you know, I didn't know anything, you know, I was a bit lost, and every little advice everybody gave me, I used it, and look how far I've come.
Oh, completely. Look how far you've come. This has been incredible. I'm going to not make you do it on your own this time. We're all going to do it because we've created something really special. 1% me, okay? 99% Alicia, but it was collective. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings to a close an incredible culinary hotline. Bling! Ding, ding, ding! Booyah!
Booyah, indeed, G-Man. Yes. Now, don't go anywhere, because after the break, we're going to talk about some money matters. Yes, are you going to be spending it on fuel or on flights? Well, you can decide and let us know. And on top of that, Danny Cohen is in the building. Yes, she is here to serve us. She's got some incredible hacks for the kitchen. So don't go anywhere, Mzansi. We're going to dive into this and a lot more on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, I'm Zanzi. Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. What an incredible morning we've had already, and thank you for choosing us. But we're going to continue to serve you right now because, look, it is kind of like that sort of holiday feel season when spring comes through, right? You know what I mean?
Hopefully. Yeah, come on. I'm there for that, dude. I'll take it.
So, look, it's a local holiday, and a local holiday is always lekker. But when it comes to figuring out transport, it's always a question between time and money. So we're going to find out in another round of Would You Rather? And the G-Man has something very interesting for this round.
Yeah, this is an interesting scenario that probably carries, as you say, a lot more weight now than it used to even like a couple of years ago, okay? Yeah. So the scenario is this. This December, you and your partner want to travel from Joburg to Cape Town for a 2-week holiday. Would you rather, A, pay the 6,000 maybe plus, okay, because it's December for 2 return flights, but have no car for your trip? Or B, spend 2 grand on fuel, but then drive 13 hours one way.
One way.
Sure. I know what I would do. Well, I don't know. Okay, well,
it's a tough one, honestly, because generally I'll be like, nah, fly. But I'm thinking to myself, like, if it's a road trip and if it's with a partner and someone I love, let's make the most of the time.
It's road trip, baby.
Yeah, and you might find some incredible things along the way. You're saving money from, like, not paying for those expensive flights, so you can use it for something spontaneous along the way.
No, and the best parts of those sorts of holidays you discover on the road. I'm sorry. And it's the conversations you have. Like my mom and I have solved the problems of the world, her driving me to and fro from boarding school and things like that. Like, I loved that. It was such a cool memory.
The thing is, not many people can endure a long drive like that.
Yeah, and certainly with me, bro. Certainly with me in the passenger seat. It is a difficult one. But let's see what you guys at home, because this is going to speak volumes about where you at.
Prince X Cardiac says B. At least it'll be a road trip, and the holiday at Cape Town will be a cherry on top. Okay.
Nice, okay. Chantal weighing in, definitely B. Saving 4,000 Rand, and we can explore our 13-hour trip by loving the nature.
Yes, I like that. That's making sense, I think. But I don't know if anybody else has anything else to say about that. Let's see online. Hamida Watt says, I'll rather spend 2,000 Rand and see what beautiful places we have. All right, so saving money, choosing experiences over there.
Well, yeah, Justine's kind of thrown a snake in there. As she says, A, as I'm too scared of the roads these days.
Point, huh?
And it's true, and it does, listen, if you're a young buck and you're wanting to take that trip from Joburg to Cape Town, it's great in principle, but the problem is, I mean, the concentration element is one. Always a young Colesberg sleepover is great. No, hit the Karoo at night if you can. Go and just take in those stars at night. That's just amazing. But don't speed, dude, otherwise that 2,000 Rand very quickly can become 4,000 Rand or 6,000 Rand, and often you know, so you've got to think clearly about the route that you're taking. Are you going to be safe? And what you want out of that holiday. That speaks volumes for me.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more with you, G-Man. So, look, I think it comes down to this. Whether you love to fly or drive, I think the Nedbank My Goals account is going to be helping you travel VIP style, and it can save you a few bucks. So I think it's kind of like the best of both here, right? So you can get up to 25 cents in cash back per litre of fuel at BP, and even get 12 free domestic lounge visits per year. Bring on the VIP, my friend.
That's a lot of cash back on your petrol, dude. Just do that maths in your head. And if you want to find out more about these epic rewards, and there are many, I'm talking about the New Metro half-price movie tickets. You can go and check out Nedbank's Money app, and the app is amazing. And then, of course, just travel safely. Happy traveling,
Happy traveling.
Check this. This My Goals account gives you cash back on groceries and 25 cents back per litre at BP. That's lit.
Lit. In 2023.
Well, that inspiration is time to dive one last time into official duties, and starting with national headlines. Now, it's 1 minute to 8 o'clock, so the timing is pretty much perfect. And on national headline fronts, the National Prosecuting Authority, otherwise known as the NPA, will continue working on the Babita Decorum case to apprehend the kingpin that ordered the hit on the corruption whistleblower who was gunned down outside her home in Winchester Hills, Johannesburg, in August 2021. Now, 6 men have been convicted and sentenced to lengthy prison terms in the High Court in Johannesburg for her murder. And their sentences range from 6 to 22 years on charges of murder, attempted murder, and possession of an illegal firearm. Now, Decorum was a senior financial officer in the Department of Health in Gauteng. Well, now sticking to national headlines right now, and tributes are pouring in for veteran investigative journalist and broadcaster Derek Watts, who has passed away at the age of 74. Now, he worked for the investigative program Carte Blanche since its inception 35 years ago, and Watts' fellow presenter Bongani Bingwe said, "One of the kindest, most generous professionals to ever do it." Now, the room disappeared when he spoke to you, and even as a colleague, he made me feel like I was Mother Teresa. Now, on top of this, the Kiffness also came through with a quote saying, "A true essay legend, probably the best investigative journalist we've ever had." And Watts definitely leaves his wife, Belinda, and 2 children behind, and our condolences go out to all of those that have been affected by his passing. For now, though, we move from national headlines to international news. Now, the African Union said yesterday it had suspended a coup-hit Niger until civilian rule was restored, and also announced it would assess the implications of any armed intervention in the Sahel nation. Now, the Economic Community of West African Countries, ECOWAS, has also rejected a proposal from the military junta in Niger that they would hold an election within 3 years. Now, in a crisis now nearly 4 weeks old, ECOWAS has threatened to use force to reinstate Niger's elected president, Mohamed Bazoum. Army officers toppled Bazoum on July the 26th. Well, carrying on with international headlines, there have been huge sighs of relief after all 8 people, including 6 children who were on their way to school, who were saved from a cable car dangling above a 183-meter high ravine in Pakistan. Now, with the country's caretaker prime minister praising great teamwork by those involved. The group were rescued by Army helicopter, and after nightfall, others were safely brought back down to the ground by a zip line. Now, the delicate 14-hour-long mission was described by Pakistan's army as an operation of unprecedented difficulty. Well, congratulations to all those involved in this rescue, but we move over to the last headline for this morning. Now, enough to truly swoon about, one of the rarest sights in the animal kingdom has appeared in a zoo in Tennessee in the US, where the birth of what's thought to be the world's only singularly colored giraffe has been announced. Now, the giraffe, a female, is a uniform brown color, lacking the distinctive patched pattern that giraffes are known for, and it's already 1.8 meters tall and is being cared for by mom and zoo staff. Now, giraffes are very rarely born without their mottled appearance, which primarily serves as a form of camouflage in the wild. Now, the zoo has announced a contest for the public to name the newborn. And maybe you can enter this competition too. I'm thinking Jacob and his not-so-technicolored coat. I don't know. You decide. For now, though, let's dive into the rest of the headlines. Here's the G-Man with the latest when it comes to all things sport.
Well, the natural world has a brand new supermodel. We love that. I love this story even more. Let's kick it off with a massive step forward in cricket, a game-changing move from Cricket South Africa. CSA has announced the debut of the Professional Domestic Women's League, intensifying the impact of Proteas women's cricket. It has been their year. Now, the vibrant league includes a CSA Women's One Day Cup, and then what will be undoubtedly a thrilling CSA Women's T20 Challenge, showcasing teams like the Lions, Western Province Titans, Dolphins, the Garden Route Badgers, and newcomers, Free State. Welcome to the fold. And I think most noteworthy in this move is CSA's introduction of a combined prize fund, more money and contracts, fostering, I think, undoubtedly a sense of unity amongst the players and the teams. But for the fans, this means a massive shot in the arm. The exhilaration is going to be incredible. So congratulations to all our new professional ladies. Now we turn to another a very exciting advent, and this time in rugby, as exciting news from the world of rugby. Now the host venues for the 2025 Women's Rugby World Cup in England have been unveiled, and this upcoming showcase events, now expanded to 16 teams from the previous 12, is going to mark the first occasion for several sites to host matches at a Women's Rugby World Cup, and there is history everywhere. So throughout August and September 2025, rugby strongholds like Sandy Park, Ashton Gate, Franklin's Gardens, and the famous Salford Community Stadium, all with so much history, will be joined by footballing arenas, including Brighton's HQ, the Stadium of Light. Look at that. And then, of course, the grand finale is set for Twickenham, the iconic London home of English rugby. And, of course, the expectations surely have to be an 80,000 strong capacity crowd. And I'm sure they will get it. Now let's bring it closer to home. Some footballing news now. Bafana head coach Hugo Broos has revealed a powerhouse 36-player preliminary squad with a trimming to 23 players on the horizon. And that's setting the stage for clashes on September the 9th and the 12th up against Namibia and then the Democratic Republic of Congo. And these matches stand as crucial stepping stones towards our crucial African Cup of Nations campaign and then, of course, the vital 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. And with our team placed in a very challenging Group C, we have got to look forward to Nigeria, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Lesotho and Benin. But I think looking at that squad, we've got the chops to do it. Now, speaking of proving his chops, I don't think he needed to put us through this, but he did, and he's made it through. We turn to athletics, and a nail-biting moment unfolded last night for our world record holder, Wade van Niekerk, as he narrowly advanced to the 400-meter final at the World Athletics Champs in Budapest. So he clinched third in his semi-final, securing a spot through non-automatic qualifiers. Please don't do that again. And despite a strong season, and especially in taking into account where he's come from injury-wise, he didn't really have that Rio Olympics finishing kick that we love. Leaving Jamaica's Antonio Watson, who ran in 44.13, and American Vernon Norwood 44.26 to snatch automatic qualifying positions. But let's be honest here, they did need their personal best performances to beat Wade. So I think he is there and thereabouts, and hopefully in that final he'll prove his chops once again. But that's where we leave our sport for this morning. No need to prove your chops out in the traffic, just keep it calm. We'll get you to work safely. Ra's got the latest.
Thank you so much, G-Man. Yes, one last time, let's dive into the world of traffic right now and see how we can serve you. And if you are in the Cape Town area, in Bottersig to be specific, there's congestion on the N7 North, and this is at the Bosmansdam Road. So if you're in the area, you can definitely expect delays. From Cape Town, we move over to Johannesburg, and we're going to Diepkloof to be specific. Now, there is a stationary vehicle on the N3 northbound after Elands interchange. So the left lane is closed. So if you're in the area, please drive carefully. And again, for anybody heading out on the road today, buckle up, stay safe and plan accordingly. From the roads to the sky, let's find out what's happening with the weather. Reporting on weather news for our last time this morning. Now, spring is in the air for most provinces of SA with fine and warm to hot weather forecast. Now, the only exceptions are the Western Cape and eastern parts of the Eastern Cape. And the first of two cold fronts this week made landfall in the southwestern parts of the Western Cape, bringing with it widespread showers, cold conditions and strong winds gusting up to 80 kilometers per hour. Now, Kanyisa Makubalo, a forecaster at the Cape Town Weather Bureau, says the current cold front will spread along the south coast towards, tomorrow, before another cold front hits the Cape on Friday. Now, Makubalo said as a result, a yellow level 2 warning for damaging waves was issued for the entire Western and Northern Cape coastline. And on top of this, a yellow level 4 warning for strong winds between Table Bay and Plettenberg Bay. Now, similar conditions as to what are being experienced right now at the moment will prevail for the next few days. Well, let's find out exactly how those temperatures are going to be looking on your side of the world and dive into these temperatures one last time. Starting off in Polokwane, 13 is yellow up to a maximum of 33. Mbobrela brings some heat from 13 all the way to a max of 37. Pretoria starts the day at 13 up to a high of 30 degrees. And Johannesburg carrying on with the beautiful sun from 10. You move up to 27 degrees Celsius. Carrying on over to Mahikeng now, where the day starts a low of 9 up to 27 degrees. Klerksdorp sees a chillier start of 6 up to 25. Kimberley, similar conditions from 6 up to moderate 20 for your max. And Bloemfontein, from a chilly 3 degrees minimum, you move up to a max of 20 degrees for the day. Around the coast now and over to Richards Bay, 16 is your low up to a high of 27. Pietermaritzburg brings some wet conditions from 11 up to 26. Durban, the rain continues from 16 up to a moderate 25 degrees. And Mthatha, 9 degrees is your low up to a maximum of 26 degrees. Carrying on around the coast now, not too much rain continuing. East London sees a low of 9 up to a high of 19 degrees. Cradock sees the day starting at a chilly 1 degree up to a max of 21. GQ Nobecha, 10 is your low up to a high of 16 degrees with a lot of rain coming through. And George, 6 to start the day up to a max of 15 degrees Celsius. Carrying on over to the mother city, Cape Town, a lot of wet conditions expected from 7 up to 14 for your max only. So very chilly conditions. Worcester, very similar from 3 up to 13 degrees. Sutherland, -2, very chilly and only up to a maximum of 10 degrees with some wet weather. And Uppington, from 5, you move up to a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius. Well, one last time, let's dive into these sunrise views and finish off this morning edition. And we're starting off with Liz and George. Whoa, look at this, a phenomenal moment outside. What a capture. I love the contrast in the colors here. It is absolutely pristine. Next up, we got Medal in Mossel Bay, showing off a view in a rear mirror. Look at oh, this is unique. What a beautiful artistic shot. I love this perspective in the rear view there. And it's just showing stunning bright clouds. Naila's up next in George, and also watching the clouds rolling through, filled with outstanding colors. It looks like art pieces right now. This is beautiful stuff from Mzansi. We've got Nina in Somerset West also sharing a panoramic photo. I mean, look at these blues. A beautiful day. It looks like the ocean is just so calm. And this is what it's about, painting a canvas and inspiring us for the rest of the day. That's thanks to you, Mzansi. So keep it coming. We'll do it all again tomorrow. It's 063 408 8863. For now, though, let's dive in and see what we can expect for the rest of this show.
Absolutely exquisite photos, looking just as good and bright and sunny indoors. I know the temperature not playing part, but of course the seasons will. And we're going to introduce you to some summer fashions, cuteness overload. The little kiddies are looking good moving into a new season. Then perhaps going into the new season, you're drowning in a sea of clutter. Danny is here to save us from the clutter. We're gonna declutter our homes, and this is the go-to. I am seeing yellow squeegee bottles. What are we putting in the squeegee bottles?
I mean, anything from mustard, tomato sauce. I don't know who still uses these, but yeah. But basically, these are all my favorite little products that I use when decluttering and organizing a kitchen.
And we will help you to declutter your life. And there is a life lesson in decluttering your space. We'll get into that in just a mo. Yay!
Yay!
Crouch, touch, but don't you dare pause. Because when you buy any of our favorite Clover products, keep the till slip handy and catch the Expresso Breakfast Show every weekday morning for more details on how to enter. While the Bucks are battling for rugby's greatest prize, you can win your share of 80,000 rands worth of Weber Prize. So engage and win with rugby's greatest moments, brought to you with love by Clover.
It's my feel good.
Oh, yes, everybody, welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're all about serving you this morning, and let's dive into the world of decluttering. Yes, we're all about decluttering our space this morning, and joining us to share some of her organizational wisdom, we've got a professional organizer and interior designer. Her name is Danny Cohen, the founder of Dash of Danny. Now, she's passionate about creating functional, beautiful, and harmonious spaces, and she's here to talk to us about why organization is needed in our busy lives and how taking a minimalist approach is absolutely beneficial. Danny, good morning.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, and you? Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. I think a lot of people, after hearing that intro, are like, oh, whoa, okay, I'm listening. I need this in my life. Let's get straight into this.
Yes.
How did you get involved in this entire business? Because you were involved in interior
Yes.
design and decor.
Yes.
But then it transitioned into organizational skills.
Yes.
Why and how did this occur?
So I studied interior design and I worked for numerous interior design companies.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. But I've always had an obsession with keeping organized.
Do you have a little bit of OCD? A little bit?
Massive. I'm not going to deny it.
Yeah.
So I was forever changing of my room, organizing, decluttering. I am the opposite of hoarding. I'd rather have less than more. It just sparks joy. And it's less nerve-wracking when you open whatever and you just see what you have. And that's with the kitchen, is a lot of people keep buying products because they actually can't see what they have because of clutter. And obviously storage also helps. So I decided to branch more into organizing and helping everybody that needs, which there are a lot of people that need, without even realizing it, that need organization and a system. And obviously I help them maintain that system after I have organized.
And I would imagine, obviously, after first getting into the space, you must have realized that, like you said now, whoa, a lot of people need this skill set. They need this involved in their life.
Yes.
Is this the reason why you decided to maybe take things online to get a better reach, or to find out where more of these people are that need your help? How did that occur?
So I actually started on my personal page.
Okay.
I started with a family friend.
Yeah.
She asked me to come and do a playroom. And I decided to film myself doing it. And I put it on my personal page. And so many people reached out and said, oh my God, you should do this as a business.
Yeah.
So I decided to quit my job and take a risk.
Wow, well done.
I decided to, came up with the name Dash of Danny.
Yeah.
And decided to start a little business. And obviously it's still growing every day. And I'm still learning every single day. And when I go to a new client, there's always a new tip or trick that I come up with and establish. But yeah, I absolutely love what I do.
I love that. Look, and before we go, it doesn't stop there, because you also have created an ebook, I believe, that actually serves this very purpose. So for people that can't physically reach out to you or chat to you, talk to me about this book. I know we are going to be going into a practical example about this, but just some hype on the book and how people can maybe get involved in that.
So I decided to do a little ebook because I have had so many people reach out to me all around South Africa, even people overseas that have asked, can you, they've seen my social media, I can't get you here, but can you give me some tips and tricks that we can't seem to find online? And I decided to basically summarize it because it can be super overwhelming.
Yes.
So I decided to put my initial projects that I have done and just gather around some tips and tricks. And through that, I developed a little ebook.
Beautiful.
And I decided it's free.
Okay.
Completely free. For now, I am building something a bit that, please God, one day will end up being a lot bigger. And I've interacted with the most incredible people through that.
All right. Well, look, Danny's not going anywhere. As I said, we'll be talking about this book that you can find online, and you can find out where to get it, and also how to actually practically organize our kitchen. Lots of tips, lots of tricks. We'll dive straight into this. Obviously, whoa, the range just come through as well. So you can definitely hear that. Even more reason to get organized and get comfy. But before we get into this, touch up with the G-Man. What you got for us, bro?
Well, the pouring rain begs the question, what if something goes wrong? What if there's a leak in the house? What if your gutter breaks? What do you do? So we put this question to you guys this morning. If something does go down, if something breaks in your house, how do you handle it? Do you A, call a handyman, B, call your parents, or C, DIY with Google and TikTok. So let's find out what you all had to say. Gary Okamp, of course, had to weigh in, and he said, fix it myself, otherwise YouTube for fixing directions. If all fails, call a professional. I like that. You go through those. We've got professionals all around us, thankfully, on this set, helping us out. Tyson Bake saying, laugh first. I tried DIY on YouTube, and then I fail, and I call a handyman. At least you're honest, buddy. Thank you. Theodora saying, good morning, Expresso family. Good morning. Call my brother. He's a plumber, but can fix a lot of stuff. Have a fab day. I like that. You got the backup, but you can do it yourself. Manku saying, my mother taught me never to ask for help until you need it. I fix it myself unless I'm clueless. Then I'll ask someone when I fail after so many tries. I love the fact that we're all willing to give it a good chance, give it a try, and if you fail, you can bring in the pros. Well, we've got more tips coming from the pros. Danny's going to help us declutter our spaces, give us some beautiful practical advice, and then another hilarious performance coming away. Stick around.
It's my feel good.
Oh, yes, Mzansi, welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. And if you weren't feeling good in terms of warmth, don't worry. We got warmth, comfort, and everything sorted for you right now. And it's time to find the joy in the little things. As the season changes, we get to build a new curated capsule of the latest trends and innovations. And here to help us build our kids' wardrobe with some essentials made to last is stylist and content creator Taryn Oppel. Taryn, how are we doing this morning?
Hello, good. How are you?
I'm excited. I see lots of bright colors.
Lots of bright colors, summery goodness.
Moms and ladies brooding out here, seeing this too, and some of the gents too as well. But this is exciting. Talk to me about the essentials, especially when it comes to maybe redesigning or reshaping the wardrobe at home for kids, because it looks like we've got options, yeah?
Well, there's many options.
Yeah.
And your essentials are your building blocks and your foundation to create almost a capsule wardrobe. So multiple pieces in the wardrobe that you can mix and match and
Can work together.
your
Like
wardrobe.
that.
More bang for your buck.
So maybe even the kid could just then dress themselves. They could just choose any of the options. It's going to work,
It's
right?
that easy because you're looking at plain t-shirts,
Okay.
printed shorts, plain shorts, leggings, dresses, all mix and match worthy. So your kids can definitely dress themselves.
Okay, so there are essentials, but when it comes to trends, I mean, there is such a thing as kids fashion, right? There's such a thing as like kids fashion trending.
Of course,
so
we can't let them, leave them on the wayside.
So what are the sort of trends that we could expect? Obviously, as we transition into this new season, I'm seeing bright pops and colors.
The rail's looking quite colourful, right?
I see a rainbow here.
Well, let me take you through a couple of things. So when it comes to girls, the girls' wardrobe, let's start there. So you're looking at your T-shirt dresses. This is in sort of a softer pastel colour. The print's quite fun. And then when you're looking at your vest dresses, some subdued colour, more punchy colour. It's almost a one-hit wonder, like put it on and go. You don't have to worry about...
It's like the entire look is within that one piece. It's sorted. Okay, I like that.
Exactly. And then, of course, you're also looking at slogans, inject some personality, say something without saying anything. Yep, again, your vest dress is the same thing with your little sayings. Moving on to your T-shirts, I mentioned the plain T-shirts, which are very important because these are great to wear head-to-toe plain colors, or you can then mix and match it with a printed short or a legging.
Yeah, I got you.
So you
and again, I don't know if it's my eye, but there is definitely sort of like a pastel note to these colors.
It's huge.
It's not as vibrant and like slamming in your face.
Yeah.
But it still gives me that warmth and comfort and that like sort of liveliness. I like what you've done here.
Springtime pastels, love it. And then when you're talking about shorts, you've got your poplin cottons and your plain and printed. How cute.
I wish there was an adult version of that one. That looks so funky.
Can sort you out. And then you've got your cottons and your prints and plains. And then, of course, printed leggings that I mentioned before. Great for pairing your plain T-shirts with.
Yeah, I love
That's
these.
quite fun.
I love what we're looking at, and it doesn't stop there. I see we've got so many more options for the gents.
We gotta look at the boys. We gotta look at the boys again. Plain T-shirt options in a variety of colors. It really does help to create numerous looks.
Yeah. And also at the same time, I can see some timeless pieces here that will last forever. I mean, you're looking at the plain tee with like a pair of shorts. You can match with dad even. You know, you can look the part. I love that.
With little Cheeto shorts. How cute.
That's so cute.
And then, of course, your graphics as well. Again, injecting some personality. Those are quite fun. And then, of course, we're talking about the shorts. You've got your slabs, stretchy cottons for movement.
So playtime. There's no restrictions.
Lots of playtime. And then your wovens as well. And I love that all of these, you know, they're so comfy. Elasticated tops, drawstrings.
Smart.
Perfect for playtime.
I love that. Especially for kids, it's always important to have that box of functionality ticked because they do play, they do move, and they can get wild. So I've seen it on the rail, but it's always important to see this in real life. Is there any way we can
see it on some bodies?
Yeah, do we have some models maybe for this one?
Yes, we've got Tatum and we've got Hamish.
Bringing out awesome models. Let's get in here. Oh, you guys look so cool.
They look so cute.
I love this.
Okay, look at the softer colors we spoke about. It's not so in your face. It's really beautiful. It's talking spring. I love his striped tee, a classic, a little bit of a nautical vibe. Also comes in navy and white, which is nice. Ooh, giving a spin.
And look, you guys can move. You can play, right? Freedom.
They can move and play. Wearing cargo shorts, has some pockets, hide some toys in there.
Like, I feel like he could be going to any occasion. He can go to a birthday party, he can go out for a picnic, he can play, sorted.
It will last the entire day.
The colours over here is what I'm just feeling at the moment.
Beautiful.
I see how you didn't mix anything, but you kept them together.
Just an all-in-one look. The crinkle cotton.
Yeah, it looks like a proper outfit.
Soft.
She's making a statement. She's going to an event for sure.
And how nice, the plain tee that adds a little bit of a frill on the sleeve just to give it a little bit more.
So well.
Yeah.
Oh, models, amazing stuff.
Well done.
They look happy. Look at the faces. That just tells you that these garments are a win.
Thank you, Tatum.
Thank you so much, Hamish. You guys are amazing. Oh, that was awesome. Listen, thank you so much for coming through. There we had the models, there's everything else, but I feel there's also something and a big note on sustainability this year. What's happening there?
Very important. I'm going to get all scientific on you now, but we got to get through this because it's really great information. So these cotton pieces are made from 100% responsibly sourced cotton, which is great. And then there's also the Stay New technology that's involved in this, which is like a bio-polishing treatment that the cotton T-shirts and golfers get to reduce pilling, those little balls that develop on your clothing from friction and a lot of play.
Longevity is actually going to be
Longevity, your items are looking newer for longer, and then also it goes through color fast and durability testing as well. So
brilliant.
lots of playtime, lots of washes after the playtime. They're still looking new for long, which is great.
Absolutely love this, Taryn. Thank you so much for coming through. Mzansi, I think you've definitely been inspired. If you want to find anything, it's available in-store, online, and on the app. What are you waiting for? Get your kids' wardrobe kitted out with all these exceptional essentials.
Think like a fashionista.
Do you think that my...
They're so pretty.
It's called a dungaree.
Dungaree. Chocolate underwear.
What if your clothes were made out of bacon?
It would be so funny because I could eat my clothes.
Oh, absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Tatum and Hamish. And now let's look at the other role of a parent. We want to dress them, but we also want to educate them, give them literacy. And the Give a Voice to Storytime campaign from Cadbury has been so close to our hearts as parents who are wanting to feed this notion of literacy in a country that so desperately needs it. This is a game changer. Let's conclude this incredible campaign.
Now you can generously give a voice to Storytime. Visit our library of homegrown audio stories at cadbury.co.za.
Welcome back to it, Mzansi, your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And things are going to feel so much better right now, especially after this story. Now listen to this. Over the past 3 months, the Cadbury Generosity Storytime Studio visited Cape Town, Johannesburg, Durban, and Pretoria, creating a space for South Africans to generously share their voices and make storytime more accessible. Now, more than 12,500 people entered the recording booths to narrate stories in all South African languages, and that was with the aim of sharing stories that would engage and excite children. Now, to find out how, we've got Jacques Seidenhout. He's the Equity Manager for Mondelez South Africa, and he's joining us in studio right now. Jacques, how are you doing?
I'm good, Raul.
Dude, I'm even better than you because this was incredible. I'm feeling everything that needed to be felt from this campaign. I feel like it went above and beyond, but from your perspective, what did this really do for you? Did it meet that prerequisite that you had in the beginning? Did it go above and beyond?
Yeah.
Because so many people lended their voice to this.
Absolutely, Raul. I think the campaign far exceeded all of our expectations.
Yeah.
If we saw all of the South Africans coming together to share their voices and generously give their time to actually step into the recording booths and share their stories and give a voice to Storytime, I think it just reaffirms that generous spirit that lives in each and every one of us, and that glass and half spirit that we really want to try and bring to life through our brand. I think this journey for us started about 3 years ago, where we asked South Africans to translate just one word in their home language to try and help bring more homegrown stories to life. And then from there, we transitioned from homegrown stories into this year's campaign of generously giving a voice.
Okay.
Really, our focus for this year was built on how generosity can bring us closer together.
Love that.
We really know that the benefits of Storytime is obviously driving confidence within kids, comprehension with reading. But for us, it was all about finding time for parents, first and second generation millennial parents, to really connect and bond with their kids and find time to actually reconnect. We did conduct some research, and our research actually showed that more than 75% of South African parents felt that with the increased and demanding pace of life, it's very difficult for them to connect with their children.
Yeah.
So we felt that was really a great opportunity for Cadbury to play a role there in bringing people closer together, connecting parents with their kids, and really ritualizing and finding moments of connection between parents and kids through Storytime.
And that is like some of the most nostalgic stuff that you take with you into your adulthood. And the stuff that, I mean, even for me personally, Storytime is the reason that I turned into Nature Boy, that I believed the craziest things I could because I bought into those stories.
Yeah.
I love the fact that this has become accessible because I can't even think of a child that didn't have an opportunity for this. And there are so many in our country, but that's changing because of this right here. Was this also the inspiration for the Generosity Storytime Studio that you guys had in place? Is this more or less what was really serving that purpose to combat this and include everybody in Storytime?
Absolutely, Raul. I think this campaign really drove accessibility, and we really wanted to make Storytime more accessible to more people.
Yeah.
All of these homegrown stories and the voices are available on our website. We've also partnered with a couple of partners, zero-rated platforms, to bring these stories to life and to also just create that bigger accessibility to the homegrown stories.
Now, we've seen some stories throughout the campaign, and they've really honestly touched in ways that you can't even imagine. But what's been like a real big highlight for you? There's something that stood out in this whole journey.
Yo, Raul,
you can emphasize that. Yo, I know.
I think for us, it was really great to see how South Africans actually came together. Like you said, we received over 12,500 voices.
That's insane, yeah.
That were given to these homegrown stories and to bring story time to life. I think the collaboration with some of our influencers that we partnered with the likes of Shakana, Yoza from Kwadaki, the Yakta Priester.
Yes.
All of these different personalities giving their voice, seeding the campaign and encouraging South Africans to get involved and help generously give a voice to story time. So those were some of the highlights.
Oh, they really were. For me, it was just seeing this journey unfold. I still think that a lot of what has happened here right now, we will see in so many years to come. When these children grow up, these are moments they're going to take with them, and I think this is what's inspired them, fueled them, and encouraged them to do things that they never even imagined. So what's happening next? How can people maybe access these stories and maybe get further involved in everything?
So the stories are available on our website. So if people go to cadbury.co.za, they should be able to find a link to access the virtual homegrown stories. But I think our next chapter is really to ritualize those moments of connection. Focus on the personal connection and how generosity can bring us closer together. Not just family and friends, but even strangers, and really igniting and bringing to life that spirit, that glass and half spirit of generosity. So I think for us as a purpose-led brand, it's important to always just be rooted in generosity and our brand positioning. But I think without the support from South Africans and really getting South Africans involved to share their homegrown stories, give a voice to the story time, all of this would not be possible. So a big shout out and thank you to South Africa.
Yeah, thank you, South Africa. And I think it's just really highlighted the importance of those quality moments, that quality time that we have together. And this has given us a reason just to make more of that. So, Jacques, thank you so much for everything you've done with this. And let me just reiterate what Jacques has said. Thank you. Yes, you, all our South Africans, for generously giving your voices at the Cadbury Generosity Storytime Studios. Now, remember, there's more than 12,000 of you took time to record your favorite stories, helping to make Storytime more accessible for children to enjoy in their home language. Now, all you got to do is simply grab your favorite Cadbury Dairy Milk, your loved ones, and visit cadbury.co.za to select the story in your home language to get started. And remember, you can also join the conversation using the hashtag Cadbury Give a Voice and follow Cadbury Dairy Milk SA on Facebook or Twitter and Instagram at Cadbury_SA. Oh, enjoy it.
Now you can generously give a voice to Storytime. Visit our library of homegrown audio stories at cadbury.co.za.
Absolutely magical. I think out of the thousands of campaigns we've been lucky enough to be connected to, this obviously stands out as one of the momentous in terms of what they're achieving, but it's just such a magical journey to be a part of. And we want to increase the magical elements in your home. We're going to declutter your space with a dash of Danny. After this, we're going to take the quickest of breaks, then the fun continues. We'll see you now.
It's my feel-good.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. Carrying on an important conversation about organization right now as we've been serving you on this Wednesday morning. And we are still chatting with the founder of Dash of Danny. And it is Danny Cohen here. She is the person that does organization on another level and includes minimalism in our homes too. Now, with spring around the corner and the prospects of opening our homes to more guests during the social season, that can be quite intimidating. Danny's here to sort us out and show us how we can hack our kitchen, declutter our space, and just organize things in general. So, Danny, the conversation we had earlier inspired many of us, but let's get practical, let's get straight into it. How do we do this, and what sort of hacks do you have that can make organization a lot easier in the kitchen?
Okay, so obviously it's extremely daunting for most people, especially when it comes to the kitchen being the heart of a home. So I've bought my favorite storage little bits and bobs that you can literally get from all over, so many storage shops, hardware shops, but these are my ultimate because we all suffer, especially in the kitchen, with storage space, and we tend to clutter things, then we forget what we have. So these are my ultimate favorites. So I'm just going to take you through them. And every time I do a kitchen, a pantry, I buy all of these for my clients.
Okay, so these kind of unlock the ability to store more, to organize better, right? Okay.
100%. And obviously we start with decluttering because we don't need 101 different spoons or whatever that we don't even know we have.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through
take me
all
through
of
it.
my
There's
favorite
lots going
things.
on here.
So these are my ultimate. I get so excited when I see this. These are Lisa Susans.
Okay.
And you get
this though.
how nice, and it's acrylic, so it's so nice.
Okay.
But these are my favorite, and what's nice about these is they're so versatile. You don't need to only use them in the kitchen. I sometimes use them for clients with in their kids' playrooms to put like stationery in, makeup, so it's super versatile.
I was just thinking this is something you could possibly place inside a cupboard and have access to something and rotate it, right?
100%. So I generally put these in pantries.
Okay, that makes
just
sense.
to create more space. And then you have your sauces and spreads in the kitchen, and you can literally pop them in.
Okay.
So this is my ultimate favorite.
Okay, adding this one to my list at home. I got you. What else you got for us?
Spices as well.
Yes.
A lot of kitchens do have installed already a spice rack or a spice drawer or a spice cupboard, but I have seen a lot of clients that don't have that.
And it's all just clumped together, and then you pick all 500 to find one.
Literally, it's just all over the kitchen, on the counter, in the pantry. So I love this three-stepper because you can literally, you can see everything, and I love it. Plus, it's aesthetically pleasing. If your spices are on a counter. If your spices are in a drawer, this is literally the best. This is just one style. You get so many different styles.
That is smart. I see what you're doing there, right?
It's so sweet, and it obviously works. You can see what you're doing, and you can see the spices that you actually own.
Don't have to pick it up to read the label as well, which we always do.
Exactly.
Okay, this is making sense. I love that, and that's something they could obviously. This could be on display as well, and almost make it like a statement piece if you wanted to.
Exactly. You get acrylic versions. This is just one version. You can get really pretty ones.
Nice. Okay.
The pot drawer next to the oven and stove. This has been this little design. Whoever designed it, this pot holder. It is the best thing ever. Sorry, a lid holder.
Yes.
So literally when you do your pots and pans and it's scattered and it's a mess and you can't find
which one matches which one.
Exactly.
Yep.
So these fit perfectly in an oversized drawer where you would store your pots and pans.
I literally know exactly where I'm going to put this. This makes so much sense because currently you have pots and pans all over in one drawer.
Yes.
This is brilliant. I love this. Okay.
I love it. I'm obsessed.
So I'm getting that as well. And that. Okay.
And what's nice about this as well is I've also used it for as well. Doesn't only have to be pot holders.
That makes sense.
Yeah, which is fabulous. And then these little odds and ends. This is like a little pantry drawer. So if you haven't got enough space, these literally usually fit in on a little shelf.
Oh, you slide onto
it. Yeah, and then you can put your cling wrap or odds and ends, extra snacks for the kids or whatever, extra space.
And that'll use up that top section, which doesn't really get used unless you stack it up all the way high. Now you can use both spaces efficiently. All right, cool. A lot more going on. We're running out of time, so let's dive through the last bits of this if we can.
So we've all got a drawer in the kitchen, obviously, that has literally everything under the kitchen sink, batteries, a little bit of everything. I absolutely love these little storage compartments, especially when they have the little stoppers as well. So when you open drawer. It doesn't shuffle around. And you can literally categorize. You put batteries in here and your slips in one and your... So you know what you have in that drawer. And it's not a little bit of everything.
And it's about being accountable for what you do have. And organization, I see, makes that so much easier. Danny, thank you so much for coming to this morning, for serving us, educating us, and I think inspiring a lot of people out there, especially as we get into entertainment season, with spring and summer coming through. So again, for you, Mzansi, I think this is your advice to find this incredible woman online. If you want to find out where to get some of these products, some of these kitchen hacks, she's got all the info that you need. It's a dash and Danny, and she is at your service. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm taking all of this home with me now. No, yes.
I'm obsessed.
Oh, I love it. Now, Ryle is ready to start shooting his own content, and I think on that vein, we're going to have a little bit of fun right now. I think making your house look nice, yeah, it's important, but that's only part of having a perfect home. We want it to feel organized, and the other part is making sure everything is neat and in its place, or at least has a place to go to. And if your cabinets are too full and your countertops are too messy, it can make you feel like your home is less beautiful, or it kind of feels like, to me, like you don't have control of your space. And it's amazing how just taking a bit of control there can lead into other areas. So we've scoured the internet to find the best home organization hacks and accounts to follow. I'm not getting emotional. I do like cleaning, but I'm going to ask Ryle to join me. That's why I was getting emotional, man, because I feel like we've been learning stuff today. We've been learning stuff. So I know I love these kind of things. These life hacks are amazing. And we're going to start off with, look at that, a shoe hanger. Take a look.
Oh, wow.
You see,
is that makeup in there?
Yeah, anything you want in there, my friend. Absolutely beautiful. The little pockets just right for keeping things like hair tools, brushes, any kind of makeup products. Also, you won't have to search through drawers in the morning anymore. And this trick makes it really easy to find what you need. Boom.
So clever.
But where do you put your shoes?
What shoes? Barefoot for life. I'm going to check on that. I love this one, man. That's some great stuff. Obviously, hanging up so many things like, I'm thinking of clothes that you need to hang up as well, because it's not just shoes and stuff. So maybe here's a hack that you might like, right? So this trick will make your closet space twice as big. Okay. Even though stores sell hangers that can do the same thing and give you more storage, this money-saving hack uses something you probably already have in your home. Okay. Right? So what we're talking about right now is actually those little sort of tabs you get on a soda. You can use that as a hack, right? I see what they're doing here is using some like stuff
you actually find over the place products as well. I love that. Yeah, man. I'm thinking of a whole lot of other things that I've got in my workshop that will do exactly the same thing.
The garage.
Yeah, very good.
Yes.
So it feels like the demon of the day are loose lids. Okay, we don't know where the buckies have gone, but the lids are all there. And if your kitchen is looking really messy because of the different containers for food, here is a tip. Try using a mail holder to keep all the tops organized, something similar to what we saw just now. Now you can quickly find the right lid for your leftover food containers. You can store it by size, and you know, you've got to see everything that's there, okay? And then you can make your choices and your decisions, and you get a sense of what sizes are, what I'm there. I'm going to so declutter my world when I get home.
Look, one more tip for you right now, and it comes to the world of sheets. Yeah, store sheets smartly. I know a lot of us maybe clump it or fold it, but your closet for bed doesn't have to be messy. There's a clever way to make bed making easier. You can put your fitted sheet, flat sheet, and extra pillowcases inside another pillowcase. Now, this way you won't have to look for the right matching set anymore. How smart is that?
I love those folders. I actually inherited quite a few of that kind of old stationery stuff from my mom, who I think kept it from like 1983. And it's so functional, and we're hoarders. We don't throw things away. We reuse, we recycle. I know. But that's brilliant. It absolutely works so well, and it fits so well into another space. So you're taking a formless item and giving it form so you can plug it into something. Flow like water into the form.
And it's also sustainable because you're repurposing something. So that is fantastic. I love this, G. Thank you so much, man. And Mzansi, I'm loving the show so much. You're serving you when it comes to organization, when it comes to hacks, when it comes to everything. We still got another performance to look forward to as well. So Mzansi, don't go anywhere. We'll be right with you after this.
More flu.
Crouch, touch, but don't you dare pause. Because when you buy any of our favorite Clover products, keep the till slip handy and catch the Expresso breakfast show every weekday morning for more details on how to enter. While the box battling for rugby's greatest prize, you can win your share of 80,000 rands worth of Weber Braais. So engage and win rugby's greatest moments, brought to you with love by Clover.
Welcome back. Thank you, bud. It's been a most amazing, enjoyable show today. Absolute gem. So let's add even more spice. And Grandma Droniak is back on our screens because she just has to trend. What is she up to today? Let's find out.
Let's rate my exes. This is Billy. I liked him because he was tall, but he didn't know how to kiss. 3 out of 10. This is Bruce. And may he slay in peace. I liked him because he had a motorcycle. But as you know, he didn't hold the door for me. I'll give him an extra point because his funeral was fun. 4 out of 10. This is Burr. He used to take me out on fancy dinners. I never had to take my wallet. 8 out of 10. And may he slay in peace. This is George. He was the hottest one, but he also passed away. May he slay in peace. 9 out of 10. That's it.
I can't believe that. She gave me an extra point because the funeral was good.
Good, I know. Hey, it ain't over till it's over. Thank you, Granny Droniak. I think we need more of a luck of the day, and let's squeeze that in via our amazing performer.
Your feel-good breakfast show, and can I tell you, this actress, presenter, and singer has been making us feel good. Serena Floos is here, and you can't lose when you have a Floos. This one is fantastic. Serena, I know that you are not only an entertainer, you're not only somebody who just made us laugh and made us move, but also netball is quite close to your heart.
Definitely. Elke sport, ek moet vir jou sê, voor ek gaan regte swat het, wou ek in die sport ingaan. Ek was van daai kinders wat al die sport, ek dink as verspoeg gesport was, het ek dit dalk ook gedoen, maar so sport lê my baie na in die hart because jy kan soveel inspirasie daai uit kry, want there's always a winner and a loser, but it's always van wat maak van jou 'n wenner? Wat maak van jou verloder? Sometimes jy's 'n verloder nog voor jy begin het en nou met die Netball World Cup was dit so fantasties om deel daarvan te wees en ek het die wonderlike voorreg gehad om juis die Choma You're a Champion te sing by die opening van die fanpark saam met Zulani en ons het hom gegooi daar en net om vir elke Protea speler te kon sê You're a Champion, maar ook vir elke persoon wat deel was, jy weet, om te kan sê, en daar's soveel inspirasie, kinders wat by die huis gesit het en gekyk het en groot gedroom het, om vir hulle dit te sê, en in die hele proses, die voorreg wat ek gehad het, om ook ander mense te kon inspireer met die liedjies, so sport, het sy dit, wat se sport dit is, daar's soveel om daai te leer, van never, ever, al is dit 'n cliché, dit was amper soos ons game wat ons agtergeloop het en op die laaste sekond het daai netbalbal gedrop, verstaan, never ever give up.
Yeah, I think it is just something that everybody should carry with them. Choma, you're a champion. Now, here's the thing. You also say I have something called the Choma Challenge. What is that? You go into schools and you do... I've heard about this thing. I've seen it on social media. What is the Choma Challenge?
I go to schools en dan doen ons die Choma Challenge. En dan leer ek vir die span 'n dansie, wat ek nou vir jou gaan leer 'n dansie vir hulle, wat die hele skool, dan is dit soos 'n massa challenge, waar die hele skool die dansie doen, en dan challenge die skole vir mekaar. Ek het nou die dag 'n CEO van 'n company gehad, wat gesê het, maar bring it on, come on Choma, bring it on. En hy het dit gedoen, en die idee daar agter is om skole te challenge, dan besoek ek hulle, ek gee so 'n bietjie inspirasie, 'n bietjie motivation, wat as 'n mens jou platform kan gebruik om te motiveer en te inspireer, then it's the purpose. En dan gaan ek na die skole en hulle doen die Choma Challenge en hulle gooi die dansie en ons neem hulle af en ons stuur vir hulle die footage. En iemand, maybe not the whole school, but maybe one person word geraak daardeur om te voel, wow, somebody feels I'm a champion, let's do it. And I mean, dan het die song sy purpose bereik en dit is soos kan ek 'n special message outstuur Kan ek outstuur 'n special massage out there? Kan ek?
Jy kan 'n bootstrap stuur.
Ek kan 'n bootstrap stuur, my boot. Dit is spesiaal. Okay?
Wow.
En
that meant, what did that mean?
Dit is juist een van die skole wat ingeskryf het, wat gehoor gestremd is. En ek het hulle gaan besoek, en dit was so awesome, om saam met hulle die Choma, jy's 'n champion, wat hulle vir my geleer het, met, ek meen gebaretaal, wat ons amptelike 12de taal is, het hulle vir my hierdie, en ek dra hom spesiaal vir hulle, die Dillabat School, het ek eintlik net gesê, daar so het hulle my geleer, Dillabat School, dis hulle, en dan sê I love you, Choma, jy's 'n champion.
Champion. I love this. Well, let's actually get the song going. This is a phenomenal track from the one and only Serena Floes. Joma as a champion.
Joma is a champion. Joma, you're a champion. Every day, all the way, here to stay. Oh, never giving up, never stop till I reach the top. Oh, fight on, go strong like a champion. Stay true, break through, hard coming through. Steady, I believe in you. Go, 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 go. Come on, Joma, bring it on, 'cause you are the champion. For every champion, remember, champion. Oh, champion. Oh, champion. Oh, Joma, you're a champion. Champion. Oh, champion. Oh, champion. Oh, Joma, you're a champion. Get into gear, sweat and tears through the fears. Oh, look me in the eyes as the winners rise to claim the prize. Oh, remember, fight on, go strong like a champion. Stay true, break through, hard work coming through. Ready, steady, I believe in you. Go, 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 go. Come on, Joma, bring it on, 'cause you are the champion. Champion. Oh, champion. Oh, champion. Oh, Joma, you're a champion. Champion. Oh, champion. Oh, champion. Oh, Joma, you're a champion. Even when I fall and fail, I'm never letting go. When I start again, I'm never letting go. Remember, even when I fall and fail, I'm never letting go. When I start again, come on, Joma, bring it on, 'cause you are the champion. For all my chomies, champion. Oh, champion. Oh, champion. Oh, Joma, you're a champion. Champion. Oh, champion. Oh, champion. Oh, Joma, you're a champion. Champion. Oh, champion.
Another feel-good production.
Joining us on stage once again for a lovely performance that is going to get you laughing, smiling, and singing is actress, presenter and singer Surina Flues, and you've been so inspirational today. I know you've been funny, but you are somebody who I can tell uses platforms to inspire, whether it be people who are hearing impaired, people who perhaps, can't find the joy in life. I feel like you are that person to bring it to those people. And I just want to thank you, Choma, for being so inspirational on the show today. It's been wonderful. Where can we see you perform or do your thing? What does the rest of the year hold for you?
Shows, ek is so dankbaar en geseënd om my shows, my damesoggende, want ons vrouens het ook ons maar inspiration nodig. Jy weet, so ons laat die tande bietjie lag, laat die tande uitval, klak, 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 met die vloes, en daarna inspire ons haar so bietjie om te laat voel, mama, jy's ook net 'n mens, en Tannie, jy's net 'n vrou, jy weet, you are just human, jy's nie 'n masjien nie, en dan is dit feeste en funksies en skole, so die shows hou vir my verskriklik besig, en ek is so dankbaar om dit te kan doen, want ek weet, ergens daar buite, het sy dit 'n show is met 1000 mense, as ek net een kan raak, en op die eind van die dag, as ek by die huis kom vir my eie Braambos en Miana meisiekind, om net vir hulle mamma te wees, om vir hulle te laat voel, my kinders, julle is mama se champions, dan weet ek, this was a good day. So, dis maar show all around, jy weet, en die voorreg wat 'n mens het, om dit te kan doen.
You are amazing, all right? You are fantastic, Surina Flues, and I know you have one more song, so let's end with a bang. Hotter as boter.
Because you know what, my choma, that is what you are.
Really?
Ja, jy is so warm soos margarine in 'n mikrogolfoond. Dis warm as jy gesmeld is. Die margarine, nie jy nie. Dis load shedding. Lag jy oor dit?
No, I'm just...
Het jy nie 'n solar panel?
No, I don't. It's fine. But it's okay.
Generator, die diesel opgeraak?
We don't have, we have your inspiration though.
Dis goed.
That's what we have though. Hotter as boter.
Hotter as boter, maar die gesmelte margarine enetjie, dis jy.
Gesmelte margarine.
Ja.
On your feel good breakfast show, Surina Flues. Here we go. Gesmelte margarine.
Ek watch vir jou. Gesmelte margarine. Dan druk haar groen knoppie. Vir almal daar buite, my chommies. Maak nie saak nie, mamma. Bra. Daar kom hy nou. Sny die broodjie, so. Dis die move. Jy's 'n vuur in 'n vlam, die spiere op Van Dam. Jy is hotter as boter. Jy grease op my hande, low profile op my bande. Hotter as boter. Jy's die kolle by 'n braai, pita in my slaai. Hotter as boter. Jy's die hashtag op Twitter, die skitter en die glitter. Hotter as boter. Jy's adrenaline, 'n gepumpte masjien. Ek smelt soos margarine as ek jou voor my sien. Boter, as boter, van die Laagveld. Boter, nos, is jy hotter, as boter, van Messina, Kuruman tot Kos, wat maak nie saak wie jy is nie, maak nie saak van waar jy is nie, jy is my choma, perfek soos jy is, daarom is jy hotter as boter, né? So let's do it, nos, is jy hot. Spesiaal vir Kaal is hierdie song, hoor. Want vir my is jy die myn kaptein, jy's die liggie wat helder tydens load shedding skyn. En so draai 'n mens 'n liggie in. Verkeerde kant, jy moet uitdraai. Jy's die skop in my juice, die komen van 'n blues, jy is hotter as boter. Jy's die vlotte by die Joel Pauso klok by 'n skool. Hotter as boter. Jy's die tat en tattoo, jy klou so superglue. Jy is hotter as boter. Jy's die
liggie wat helder tydens load shedding skyn. Draai die liggie in, mooi. Pragtig. En ek kan draai hom uit. Pragtig.
Yes, Serena. That was amazing. Fantastic. Oh, why am I sweating?
Oh, ek weet nie, maar ek het nou pyn op plekke wat ek geweet het ek het plekke nie.
Serena Flues on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. That didn't make you feel good. I don't know what will, but don't forget, while you are sitting there, don't forget you are hotter as botter, gesmelte margarine. Don't ever forget that it's the inspiration we give you. And don't forget the Choma Challenge and the inspiration that this lady offers is that no matter what you are, Choma is a champion.
Yes. High five. Too slow.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Toe maar. Kom.